What's happening, good people of Memphis and the metropolitan Memphis area? We welcome you into another week of Sports 56 Mornings. Hope you had a terrific weekend. It's the Monday, July 29th, 2024 edition of the program. Final 3 days of July. Thursday, we kick off August. You know what that means. It's full speed ahead to college football and the National Football League in another season. The 2024 campaign can't wait. Camps opening up this week. In fact, several tomorrow. Memphis will open up on Wednesday, Ole Miss tomorrow. So we are just about in the start, or at least at the start, of the college and NFL seasons. And that is always a good time. We welcome you in. Greg Guest and Eli Savoy. Zach Boyd with you, broadcasting live from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. Everything you need for a terrific summer. There's still a long way to go in summer. You want a great summer? You want a great fall? How about things all year long? You can get them at Family Leisure, including pools and spas, play gyms and patio umbrellas, hot tubs, and lots more. 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. And the first hour of the program, speaking of tremendous summers and all year-round things that help out the family, how about the Big Green Egg? The Big Green Egg is the sponsor of hour number one of the program. Currently, it is 77 degrees. It's going to be a hot one. 94 is the projected high temperature. Sunshine and clouds mixed. And then tonight we're looking at 79 for a low. Generally clear skies. We've had enough rain. I think we had rain for like 5 or 6 straight days, at least some rain. Then tomorrow, bright sunshine, 96 degrees for your high for your Tuesday. Coming up on the program today, plenty of Olympics talk, as obviously the Olympics are underway. They had the opening ceremony officially on Friday. Games, though, have been going on. Competition has been going on since Wednesday. But this past weekend, the first big weekend of the Olympics, we will talk about that. Plenty of NFL news to get into. Major League Baseball, we are upon the trade deadline. That will be tomorrow. And already a bunch of moves that were made over the weekend. We will discuss that. We got some NBA news to get into as well. Some huge news involving college athletics. We will talk college football, the opening of camp for the Ole Miss Rebels with David Johnson. He will join us at 9:05 from 247 Sports. As I mentioned, the Rebels open up tomorrow. The Memphis Tigers will open up on Wednesday. We'll take your calls and your texts on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines at 901-360-8255. That is your lineup for this first day of the work week, the Monday edition of Sports 56 Mornings. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
What's happening? How was your weekend?
I had a good weekend. Despite the rain, still was able to play golf and Friday and Saturday, so it was good. All good.
So soggy out there on the course?
Oh, it was a little soggy, but not too bad. We didn't get like whatever day it was last week, but was it Thursday last week when it just absolutely poured? Some places I didn't get a single drop of rain at my house.
Really? No, we got a lot of ours.
It's just different parts, and then it never really rained hard out there. So never had too many issues, just some light rain just to be annoying, especially when you wear glasses playing golf. Light rain really gets annoying, but it stopped and was able to play without any issues.
Yeah, like I said, it wasn't a full soaking each and every day, but there were periods of rain for what, 6, 7 straight days?
Yeah, it's been a lot. I don't know. There's been a lot of rain recently. I don't know how many straight days it was, but yes, there were a lot.
Well, it's going to dry up for the foreseeable future before the next batch of precipitation. Mr. Zach Boyd, how was your weekend? What'd you do, my friend?
Weekend, like what weekend?
What do you mean? It all blends in?
Like usually my weekends have been very busy, so everything starts to smash together. But I mean, I had to do some church responsibilities. Nothing too crazy.
I did a little. I went to a movie on Saturday. Very rare. Went to a movie. Saw Twisters, as opposed to Twister. And
sister.
Yeah.
And
it's what you would imagine.
Were there tornadoes?
There were tornadoes. There were some deaths.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Oh, sorry, I didn't want to give that away if people didn't know.
Yeah, Dee Snider wasn't in the movie.
I think there are tornadoes.
There were a few tornadoes in the movie, so it was okay. It was okay. Friday night, went down to the Gold Strike. First time I've been to Tunica since before COVID. They're down to 6 casinos. Did you know that?
I hadn't really done a head count recently. I don't know. I hadn't really thought about it.
Yeah, I didn't know until I went down there, but went and saw Three Dog Night.
Did they do Eli's Coming?
They did Eli's Coming.
They better.
They did Eli's Coming, and of course...
I was not, though. I was not.
No, you weren't anywhere near there. It was a sellout. You know, I was one of the younger people in the audience.
How? Like, I don't know anything about Three Dog Night other than Eli's Coming.
Oh, 20. They have 25 top 40 songs.
How old are they?
Well, one guy's dead.
He's old.
One guy, Chuck Negrin, was the guy, the mustache, big thick mustache. I don't know if you remember them. They kicked him out of the group in 85. So he's been gone for almost 40 years. He had drug problems, drug issues. And then in
1985, not at 85 years old.
Right. Or
Okay.
1885.
I thought you meant they kicked him out when he was 85.
No.
Okay.
But they're closing in. So the original Danny Hutton is still there. And he is 81 years of age. But again, Jagger's out there at 81. He doesn't move like Jagger. See what I went there?
I
like that?
Yeah.
Doesn't have the moves like Jagger. But
Mick Jagger just had a birthday, if I'm not mistaken.
Did he really? That dude's unbelievable. That guy's never dying. But this guy was good. He's one of the main singers. You know, they're a very unique band because they had 3 lead singers. They all did different songs, and sometimes they would harmonize in the songs. But they had 25 top 40 songs, and they did them all. You know, Joy to the World. You know Joy to the World. Mm-hmm. And One is the Loneliest Number, and on and on and on and on. Just an old-fashioned love song. So we had a good time. We had a good time down there at the Gold Strike, and that was pretty much it. But a lot of Olympic viewing.
Mick Jagger just had a birthday Friday. I was right.
81?
81 years old. Turned 81
God bless him. God bless him. But watched a lot of the Olympics. I assume you watched a lot?
Yeah. Yesterday I spent pretty much the entire day watching Olympics. Watched the basketball game. Watched the soccer game with our women. Watched all the gymnastics, swimming. I've pretty much spent about 12 straight hours or so watching Olympics yesterday.
Between Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I watched intervals of it, and I've seen everything from cycling to table tennis to basketball. I watched a number of different sports. Beach volleyball. How about that venue for beach volleyball with the Eiffel Tower right behind?
I saw a little bit of beach volleyball. I think I don't know if it was yesterday or one of the days, but that's a cool little deal. The cycling the other day in the rain. Boy,
I watched that.
That was some rough stuff, man. People are wiping out everywhere. That's brutal.
Man, that was tough. That would have been. I mean, you think about it. You train and you train and you train. And you wait every 4 years to try to get in. Maybe it's your only opportunity. And Mother Nature doesn't help out one bit. Slip sliding away. That's what they were doing. Of course, there was the controversy about the opening ceremony on Friday. I thought the whole, I don't know, was it a balloon type thing when they lit the cauldron? I thought that was really, really cool. Of course, it's the City of Lights, so it makes sense to have something shining as brightly as it did. But, yeah, a lot of controversy with the opening ceremony. And then as far as the games are concerned, and we'll talk a lot about that, you mentioned basketball. So men's basketball get underway. They play Serbia, a team they played in the preseason or in the exhibition season, and they win by 26 points. Yet all the talk has been about Jason Tatum not playing. Okay, there's been a lot of criticism of Steve Kerr. I've been critical of Steve Kerr. Understandably so. They go out, they get Kevin Durant back, which we'll talk about in a second. KD's fantastic. LeBron, amazing. They win by 36 points. But here we go. ESPN leading the charge. Kerr had to answer that question, why he didn't play Jason Tatum.
26, by the way.
My math's bad. 26. Still a route, right?
Yeah.
Why does that have to be the topic of conversation? Who cares? He didn't play. He'll probably play the next game. And if he doesn't, so what? Are they a team or is it all about the individuals? They're all great players. Okay, this just in. The U.S. Olympic basketball team, both men and women, are all great players. So not all of them can play. As far as I know, 5 on the court at once for one team and 1 basketball. Why has that become such a major topic of discussion?
Well, I mean, just the idea. He is the only first-team All-NBA guy on the roster, and when he doesn't, and he's one of 2 guys that doesn't play, it's just a little weird. But and Steve Kerr even said afterwards, he's like, and he almost kind of jokingly said, I felt like an idiot not playing Jason Tatum. But he did say that he had talked to Tatum beforehand and said with Durant coming back that in the lineups he was trying to use that it could end up playing out that way. But yeah, that's the whole thing with this roster, like especially in a 40-minute game rather than 48. Like it's hard. You're not going to play everybody. I mean. Now, could he have brought him in at the end in a blowout? Certainly, I guess he could. He could bring everybody in, whatever. I don't know. But, with Durant back for the first time, that's the thing. They're still kind of experimenting to try and figure out best combinations to use. And then when Durant comes out and does what he did yesterday, I mean, that's like just absolutely incredible to do what he did. You've got to get him minutes, and you're there'll be a lot of times, I think, just you're going to play the lineups that are working, the hot guys, and that could end up leaving people out. But, I don't know what he said Tatum handled it well. I don't think, and Tatum, haven't seen anything about him being really upset. I mean, hell, Jason Davis played a ton of basketball. For him. Like, it might be nice to have a little bit of a break when you go all the way through the NBA Finals. You have played a lot of basketball, so. But yeah, it's just going to be difficult to try and get everybody in these games when you only got 40 minutes to distribute amongst a bunch of guys who were all expected to play.
You play to win the game. I'm not saying they wouldn't have won the game with Tatum getting the minutes. They would have, more than likely. But they won, again, by 26 points. So it is what it is. I would guarantee you Tatum will get minutes in the next game. But
Steve Kerr said he would.
But Kevin Durant did not play in one of the exhibition games. And we know how bad at times Team USA looked, where they were taken to the limit by South Sudan, and they were taken to the limit by Germany. I'm not saying Kevin Durant is the end-all, be-all, but if he plays like he did in Game 1 against Serbia, there's no looking back. Durant, who got clearance to play an hour before the game, nails his first 8 shots from the field, finishes with 23 points, hits 5 threes, and does so in 17 minutes. Rusty? Nah.
Yeah, I mean, it just there's no way you should be able to go that long without playing in a basketball game and then come out and do that. Like, just absolutely an incredible performance. And certainly, I mean, and we'll see what happens going forward. You know, we talked about, you know, with him coming off the bench that he said, whatever, you know, whether they want to continue to do that going forward or whatever. I mean, it's a hell of a sixth man. He could win sixth man of the year at the Olympics. I'm going to tell you that much. But that's a hell of a weapon to have coming off your bench. But like you know he can get a shot off whatever he wants. That's never going to be an issue.
Right.
But to just come in and, I mean, it was immediate, too. Like, the first shot, he was in there for, 30 seconds, not even, and he just knocks down a smooth three. You know, they run the play at the end of the half for him. He hits that shot. Like, just absolutely ridiculous performance by somebody who hadn't played, whatever their last game of the season was. And to do that type stuff in your first game back is crazy.
And then there was the old man, LeBron James. At 39, I think we got to forget about the number because the number really doesn't matter with LeBron James. 21 points, 9 assists, several of them to KD, 6 rebounds, an all-around great performance by their leader.
7 rebounds. Don't short him one.
They must have added one. I thought it was 6. Okay. 9 and 7 to go along with 21 points.
Yeah, and he... when they fell down early, Serbia goes up 10-2. Like, you could almost feel LeBron like
Taking
set the
hold of the
tone,
team.
kind of like, okay,
Right.
like come on, guys, let's take care of business. And he and Steve Kerr even said afterward, like that talking with Tyronn Lue and Eric Spoelstra, who have coached him, and basically told him that like he's been good in these exhibitions, but as the stakes increase, he'll get even better. And he just controlled the game. He just has that ability. So strong. I mean, a couple of those drives to the basket, like he's just going through guys, and it's like, dude, they have no chance whatsoever. He is just an absolute runaway train, and it's I mean, doesn't matter. I mean, he is without question the leader of this team. Everybody knows it, and he will set the tone. And then when you've got Durant doing his thing like that, I mean, again, there's just like when they were down 10-2, it's like, how in the hell does this team fall down 10-2? Like, how do you score only two? How does that team only score 2 points in like the first, whatever it was, 3.5, 4 minutes of a game? Mm-hmm. Like, you feel like they should score on every trip down the court, because like, how do you not just get like a layup or whatever you want on every single possession when this is the group of guys that you've got out on the floor at all times? Again, your first team All-NBA guy didn't play. That's how good they are.
I think there are defenders out there that are so afraid of getting in front of LeBron James that they don't. You said a runaway train. His nickname should have been his entire career, the Locomotive, because that's what it is. He's fast, still has wheels, strong as an ox, and so physical that you don't want anything to do with him. And I think there are defenders in the NBA and in now international play in the Olympics that shy away. So he can go to the hole all day.
Well, Dwayne Wade said it on the Broncos. He said, I never tried taking a charge from LeBron. Sometimes you got to make business decisions.
And he's right. And you can see it. It's pretty obvious. So when he goes to the hole and has a chance to finish, he'll finish. If not, he'll kick it. And when you can kick it to Durant or Steph Curry or Devin Booker, and we'll see what happens with Tatum. I mean, there's just too many weapons. So not a surprise there. Of course, Nikola Jokic, arguably the best player in the world, was consistently harassed by United States defenders. He still scored 20. The problem was his teammates didn't step up. They had no chance without any of these other guys, Jovic and stepping up, and they really didn't. So there was not much help for Jokic.
Yeah, again, I mean, they're while they, last year went to the gold medal game without Jokic. Like there are some other good players, obviously other NBA players on that roster. When it's just not the same level as the guys they're going against for us. While they might be NBA players, they're not the best NBA players. Like pretty much everybody on our roster is one of the best NBA players.
Now, does Steve Kerr need to switch his starting center?
I don't think he will. I think he likes the rotation. And it's been Embiid pretty much through all of the exhibition games. So I would assume that he will continue with him, and then using the combination of Adebayo and Anthony Davis kind of together on that second unit. I think he will. I think because he likes playing those two guys together, it seems like, I think he'll probably stay with Embiid as the starting center.
Well, Embiid struggled. And he also had a staunch crowd booing because of the fact that he could have played for France but decided to play for the United States. So I don't know if that contributed to his poor performance. But, yeah, I think that's going to probably be a broken record throughout the games the United States plays in, because there'll be plenty of the Parisians that are out there booing Joel Embiid.
Yeah, it was weird at first. Like, when the first time he touched the ball, I'm like, how are they like booing Joel Embiid? Like what? Why are they so upset with Joel Embiid? I didn't realize. I mean, and then I was like, okay, and then they just kept doing it the entire game. I'm like, man, they are
relentless.
They are really upset that Joel Embiid chose to play for the USA and not for France.
They don't forget, it wasn't that long ago where he made that decision. Yeah, that was bad, and I think it's going to be something that's going to be very consistent. To be honest with you, I think we're going to hear that in a lot of different games that the United States are performing. South Sudan, quick mention for the South Sudanese who gave the United States all they could handle in an exhibition game. They come back in their first game, real game, as a nation playing men's basketball. They defeat Puerto Rico 90-79 in their debut game. And, of course, before the game started, they play each team's national anthem, and they played the wrong national anthem for South Sudan, so they cut it off 20 seconds in when they realized it was wrong.
Got to be able to get that right. You think you'll be able to figure out which one to hit.
They made a few mistakes now. Did they play the wrong anthem for South Korea opening ceremony? Wasn't there an issue there? I didn't see the opening ceremony.
I didn't either, but we got a text that's they introduced them as North Korea.
Missed it by that much.
Again, got to make sure you think like these people, you got it all figured out. Like a lot of time to prepare. You've had 4 years to prepare.
4 years.
And even if, like with the national anthem for South Sudan, you didn't have 4 years, but you've known they're going to be in the Olympics for a while. Make sure you've got their national anthem ready to go, queued up. And it just seems like that would be a rather easy job for somebody to make sure. You would just double check with them. Hey, just want to make sure this is correct, right? This is your national anthem? Okay, we're good to go then. So we'll see tomorrow I guess Wednesday. Is it Wednesday they play U.S.? We play them? I think it's Wednesday.
I think it's Wednesday.
We play them. We'll see if they can get the anthem correct.
Yeah, your anthem guy. You got one job, buddy.
It's an important job at the Olympics. Like there's a lot of anthem playing
going on.
Like, you don't want to screw that up. You want to make sure you have the correct anthems and know, like on your computer, like you just think you have them all labeled right there. Like you just go whatever country you need, you just plug that thing and let it go and make sure you have them labeled correctly. Like that would be the start. You got to make sure you have the anthems all labeled correctly. But then you're just hitting buttons. Again, is that which one we need? Okay, yeah, click that one. So yeah, it's just a little organizational thing, and hopefully by Wednesday, the folks from South Sudan can hear their correct anthem before they play Team USA.
The French have a pretty cool anthem. I realize how cool that anthem is. When the swimmer won by like 800 lengths, the guy that's their swimmer,
Leon Marchand.
Oh my gosh,
dude!
He was like secretariat in the pool.
That scene was so cool. With like every time he'd come out of the water, the crowd would then he would go under. Like I was like the way they kept the rhythm. Like I was like, this is absolutely amazing. Like these people, like it's just so cool. I did not listen to their anthem. I don't know anything about the French. Even with my French background, I do not know my French national anthem.
No, I mean, but when they played, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that tune. I think it was on Name That Tune one time. No, it's good. It's a really good anthem. All right, when we come back, more on the Olympics. We'll talk about some of the other sports. A big night in Murray, Kentucky, Saturday for one Ja Morant. Again, we'll open up the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines to you at 901-360-8255. Plenty of NFL, Major League Baseball to get into. We'll talk some Ole Miss football with David Johnson at 9:05. That's on tap for today on this Monday edition of Sports 56 Mornings. Folks, it's summer. There's still plenty of time to go, even though schools are back in session, in about a week or so. But time to get out, especially this weekend, drive around the state, drive around the tri-state area, drive around the country. And you can do so in style with a beautiful new automobile from All Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. They have hundreds of new and pre-owned Silverados on the lot. Some marked 12% off invoice. That's 12% off invoice. You add up all the All-Star special discounts, even discounts for Costco members, and you're going to save a lot of money. It's one sweet buyer's market right now. Financing as low as 1.9%. No payments for 90 days on a bunch of new All-Star Chevys. Nothing beats road trips in a new Tahoe. You get an extra $500 bonus if you're in healthcare, an educator, a college grad, military, or first responder. No matter what pre-owned you're looking for, they have it there at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. Jeeps, Expeditions, 4Runners, Navigators, all the trucks. You can test drive them all. Bring any vehicle you want to sell. Get a big check today. So let's go. Don't miss All-Star Chevy's special summer sale. That's All-Star Chevy's special summer sale. It's going on right now in Olive Branch. You can also check out these great vehicles online at allstarautogroup.com. VideoVideoGames.com. Just underway on a Monday. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Looking for sports in all the wrong places? Try the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square. Fun, friendly, exciting, and comfortable with wall-to-wall TVs for all your favorite games, 24 taps for all your favorite beers, including NA and local craft beers, and an in-front-of-the-wall full bar for all your other favorite beverages, including a full wine list. And in an upscale menu, patio seating, daily specials, and events, and you found all your sports in the one right place. The Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square, Highway 70.
I spray and scrub, but the soap scum in my bathtub is still there.
I spray and scrub, but the burnt sauce on my stovetop sticks around.
Sprays can leave grime behind, but Mr. Clean Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser combines the scrubbing power of an eraser with the cleaning power of Dawn to melt away tough messes on contact.
Just wet, squeeze, and erase.
Stop spraying, start erasing, and clean with more magic than ever with Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Summertime's finally here, and that means it's time to party. Lucky for you, Family Leisure is having a summertime to party sale. Now, what's all included in this party sale? Practically everything. 24-foot above ground pools for as little as $19.99. All ladders, filter systems, and even robotic cleaners are 20% off. Come in and look at all of the in-stock patio furniture Family Leisure has. Plus, it's up to 50% off. Play gyms for the kids, that's $1,000 off. Patio umbrellas, take 20% off. You can get a 4-person hot tub for just under $3,000. We know you're really going to just use it for yourself. Family Leisure has discounted pricing on all in-stock pool toys and floats while the supplies last, so you better get in quick. Plus, Family Leisure has special financing available. Just ask an associate for all the details. Summertime means party time, and Family Leisure is ready for any party. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun all come together.
Listen up, I got Marty McNate on the line at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown. Hey McNate, how far back you moving on prices?
Way back, Randy. Doc told me you can take your pick. 2024 Teos SE or 2024 Jetta Sport. Gotta go back in time to the good old days at $275 a month.
Great Scott, McNate. Gossett Volkswagen on Germantown is really moving prices back.
That's right, Randy.
And I hear you got the 2024 Atlas Peak Editions going for $5,000 off MSRP, or you can get 1.9 for 60 months.
That's right, Randy. Your future's whatever you make of it, so let's get to Gossett Volkswagen Germantown.
Ask for Marty to find out how much he can move you back on price. Hey, Marty, hit us with that Gossett Volkswagen locator.
7420 Winchester Road, or shop online at GossettVWG.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Trying to pick up out here on Billmore's Parkway 385 coming inbound as you work your way from Riverdale all the way up to 240. Still looks good right now coming up from the south on 55 northbound, not only up through South Haven, but coming up from DeSoto County towards South Memphis. Hey, Havenly Showers, your curbless shower specialist. Transform your bathroom with a tub to curbless shower conversions. Log on today, havenlyshowers.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome back. I just love watching gymnastics during the Olympics. It's the only time. I don't care to watch it any other time of the year. If there's no Olympics that year, then I'm not going to watch it until whenever the Olympics come around. And when they do, there's always story after story after story, emotional stories. And the U.S. women's gymnastics teams over the years have been so compelling. And then, of course, the whole stuff with Larry Nassar. Hope he rots in jail. I mean, what he did to affect these young ladies' lives, many of them mentally, but then other things that have certainly detracted from their job of being the best gymnast they can be, has affected their mental state. I watched this special, the Netflix documentary on Simone Biles and what she has dealt with. Then last night, if you didn't already know the story about Suni Lee, I didn't know all those particulars that happened. Once she went to Auburn, thought everything was hunky-dory at Auburn. She's kicking tail. She's going to school. She's having a good time. She's doing very well in gymnastics. And then all of a sudden, she has these problems with her kidneys. And all of a sudden, she said she put on 45 pounds in like several weeks. I did not know that story. So I learned that last night. There's always these unbelievable stories that go with these young ladies. Now, do I watch the men's gymnastics? Yeah, but it doesn't have the same effect on me as the women. And Simone Biles, once again, she had a little bit of a leg issue and still went out there, performed incredibly well. She is the leader in the all-around. Suni Lee looked fantastic yesterday in watching her. And we'll see what happens over the next couple of days with the individual performances and the team performance. The United States number one right now as far as the team is concerned, with Italy on its heels and other countries. But just great.
Those scores don't matter. It's a restart. They start over.
Oh, they clear this. They clean the slate.
That's just qualifying, and now they.
But they are the favorites. They went. I mean, they easily won the trials by a lot. I mean, it was a big difference between them and Italy. But to see those young ladies perform the way they did that's why I love gymnastics, swimming, track and field, things I don't normally watch.
Yeah, I mean, we are that team is a just dominant group. Like there's the I don't understand the rule about the limiting the individual all around to only 2 people per team. Like if your team's that good, why are you penalized? Like right. Jordan Childs finished 4th amongst all of the people, but yet doesn't get to go to the individual all-around because she was 3rd on her team. Well, if we're just that good and she's that good, why does she not get to compete for the individual all-around just because she happens to be 3rd on her team?
I agree.
Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, she's better than, like, everybody else in the world, but she just happens to be she just finished 3rd on our team. Like, what? Like, what? I don't get that at all. If we end up with if in the individual all-around, one team has the gold, silver, and bronze, so what? Who cares? Like, they're just that good. I don't get what the purpose is of limiting it to 2 per team in the final. I mean, I feel terrible for her. Like, you finished 4th in qualifying. So there's only one person from anywhere else in the world that beat you other than your 2 teammates, and you're told, nah, you don't get to go because you finished 3rd on your team. Sorry, they get to do it. It just doesn't make sense. But like, they're all incredible. I mean, Simone Biles, like, with that calf injury to do the stuff she does, they're still like on the floor. So she's 11 feet in the air. It's like, what? How do you like?
She just seems to go higher and faster than anybody else.
Her
degree of difficulty is incredible.
Just blows my mind. I just don't. I can't comprehend the stuff that they do. Again, the vault will never cease to amaze me. How you do that? Run full speed, flip onto a ramp, then flip again onto a thing, push off with your hands, get in the air, do flips and twists, and then you're supposed to just land it like nothing. Like you're like just stick that landing and go, okay, that's I don't.
And push off backwards. It's like you're backwards and you're pushing off, and then the uneven parallel bars just to be able to go as fast as they do, and just I don't know. It's incredible. I'm telling you, it's the only time. Maybe I should watch it more at other meets when they are televised, but I don't. It's just, it doesn't do anything for me unless there's something huge on the line. And this is huge because it is the Olympic Games. Elsewhere in the Olympics, right now going on in tennis, which again is great, but it doesn't do much for me because, again, tennis, golf, I don't really care to see that in the Olympics. But you have Nadal and you have Djokovic in the second round in Olympic singles competition, and they're playing on clay at Roland Garros, which is Nadal's surface. Nadal at the very end of his career. Djokovic is getting close. But that's going on right now. I know the Joker got off to a 2-0 lead, spoiler alert, in the first set of that match, which is going on. It's still weird with the whole time difference, but it is what it is. I mean, it's even worse when they're in Asia. But just the 7-hour difference from the central time zone, if you're reading social media, you know the results. So you know what basically the night broadcast is going to be. It's going to be a recap of everything that you already know of. Now, maybe you didn't see it, and you'll get to see it, but you know the results if you've read. And my wife says, don't say it, don't say it.
I mean, the good thing is,
say anything.
The good thing is that, again, now over the weekend's a little easier than during the week for people, but like you can watch everything live, like with Peacock and everything else.
Sure.
Like you can just watch it live, and then you don't need to watch the night broadcast. Like you just the prime time broadcast means nothing because you've already watched everything that happened.
I don't get Peacock.
You don't get it, like you don't understand it?
No, I don't. I don't get it.
I already paid streaming service.
I know. I already paid for too many things. I'm not paying for the Peacock either. That's not happening. Women's soccer, United States looked great yesterday. Beat Germany 4-1. Beat them down.
Yeah, they the three-headed monster of attackers has been good. Swanson another goal. Smith had 2 in this one. They looked really really good.
Rodman sets them all up and
yesterday. Like they were just. I mean, Germany's good, and they made them look silly. It's the new coach. I don't know. We'll see what ends up happening here. It's funny because they were talking about how the fact that actually they would technically be better not winning their group. They would get a better matchup by finishing second in their group. Which I guess if they lose to Australia, there's a chance that they would finish second in their group. So I don't know if maybe they go out there and just throw the match against Australia to try and finish second or not. But no, they have been extremely impressive. And that was a really good performance yesterday.
Well, that's not going to happen. They're not throwing any matches. They're going to go out there and they're going to win those matches. And it doesn't matter who they play because they should win gold. Should win gold. But it's not as dominant, I think, as it is with women's basketball, where the women's basketball team should win gold. There was the one match. Did you see the results of the one soccer match where it was, I'm trying to remember, one of the African nations was playing Australia, and they were up, I swear they were up like 5-1, and they ended up losing?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, it was... They had an own goal, and then they gave up a PK.
It had to be Zambia.
Zambia.
They're in the group with the Americans.
That's who it was. It was Zambia. They had I believe it was 5-1, and they ended up losing 6-5 to Australia. Also from basketball, I mentioned the South Sudan win. Spain lost to Australia, but Santi Aldama from the Grizzlies, 27 points, looked fantastic.
He's been great. I mean, again, he was the MVP of the qualifier. He has been really, really good, and he is good at international play. If he can translate his three-point shooting that he's been doing in this over to the Grizzlies, I've so long. To me, Santi Aldama's getting minutes. I don't know, and that's why I just wonder where Gigi gets his because to me, Santi Aldama is going to be playing.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question, right, that Santi is firmly in the rotation for the Grizzlies. I'd be absolutely shocked if he wasn't. Not because he's kicking tail for Spain in a loss, but still kicking tail. That translates into what happens with the NBA and the Grizzlies and Taylor Jenkins' decision and what he wants to do as far as a rotation. One does not, correlate to the other. But
if I'm judging people's performance, I'm going to judge what happens at Olympic play versus Summer League.
That's for sure.
I mean, it's like... I'd rather see the guy be dominant in the Olympics than dominant in the Summer League.
Anything else from the Olympics that stood out?
Well, the whole Canadian soccer thing that continues now as
right.
FIFA steps in, suspends the coach for a year, and then
And her staff.
More importantly, docks them 6 points in group play, but they still may advance out of it if they've won their first 2, so now they're up to 0. They've gotten it to 0, and if they win their next match, they'll still find a way to advance.
The players say they are not cheaters, and I believe that they're not cheaters. I think this was a decision made by the coaches and the coaching staff. They took that information, whatever information that was that they were able to gather, used it in their game planning. I don't think they went out and said, hey, listen, here's what we're going to do. We're going to fly a drone over the practice. We're going to steal everything that we could find out. We're going to relay that to you guys. No, I think they did it on their own and then formulated this game plan, went over the game plan with the players. The players went out there and, like you said, they won 2 matches. But they, because of that penalty, 6 points being docked, it put them in a big hole. Was it the players' fault? No, I don't believe it was.
But I get so tired. It's the same thing that happened with the Michigan stuff. Is it the players' fault? No. But if the whole program is blatantly cheating, the whole program should be penalized.
But is the whole program blatantly cheating? Maybe it's just the coach.
If the people at the top of your program are cheating, then yes, your program is cheating.
Well, I don't know. I would argue that. With Harbaugh, the penalty was so light with Harbaugh. This penalty is harsh. This lady is suspended for a year. That's a year penalty. That's a harsh penalty, but it's a deserving penalty because of what she did. And other staff members were also penalized. I don't know who's coaching the damn team, to be honest with you. But no, the players, now I don't know this for a fact. I don't know it. Maybe they said, hey, we're sending a drone. Hey, that's great. Send the drone over. We'll get more information. I don't know. But I'm going to doubt it.
It doesn't matter if you told the players.
It does matter.
If you are doing stuff that's cheating that allows you to better prepare for a game, the players are benefiting from that. Whether they know it or not, why your game plan is so great, they are benefiting from that. Your team is benefiting from your cheating. Therefore, the team should be penalized.
Not necessarily. How about
then why did they do it? If they're gaining no advantage, why are they doing it?
They think they're getting the advantage, but those players feel that they go out there and they're going to beat these teams either way.
Well, but we don't know. We don't know. They might have won the gold in the last one because they were cheating. We don't know. So, I don't understand the idea that we can't penalize the players because the players didn't know. The players benefit from it. It's cheating. Penalize the damn program.
Okay, so when when James Wiseman was here, and I know he played a limited time, he played how many games?
3 games.
And they won 3 games.
Actually, no, they lost 1.
They lost 1, okay.
It went, I think 2-1.
Okay, they went 2-1. Should the 2 wins have been taken away?
Well,
they were cheating, right?
Well, with an ineligible player,
the NCAA?
You do have them vacated if you're an ineligible player.
Did they vacate those wins?
I don't remember.
I don't remember them vacating those wins.
I don't remember what they ended up ruling on him if he was ineligible or what the deal was.
I don't think those wins were turned into losses. Maybe I'm wrong, but I know it's a fine line between penalizing the appropriate people
and the vacating of stuff that I do not agree with. This I agree with. Penalize them up front, No, you guys get penalized because you're cheating. We found out about it where we could penalize you now. If you're cheating in the Olympics, you're penalized in the Olympics.
If this team turned around and got smoked in their first 2 games, then you go, okay, they're really they are only good because they are cheating. But that is not the case. I don't think that's the case. Yeah, you're probably going to benefit. I don't know what I said this when John was on our show. John Varlas was on our show on Friday. You sent a drone over practice for a soccer match. Okay, what are you going to see? You're going to see the formation. All you have to do is watch tape of their games.
You see what they're going to do against you. You see how they're preparing for you.
They're not going to completely change what they do. If they're an attacking team, they're going to still attack. They're not going to change it that much to fit every single individual opponent that they play. They are who they are. That's their system. If you go out there and now, it's a little different in football, American football, with different plays and things of that nature. Now, you may see a few things as far as set pieces are concerned with soccer, but I don't know how much you benefit from it. Look.
Well, I don't know if the coach of the team thinks they benefit because they're doing it. So I'm going to take.
And the players say,
I'll take the coach's perspective that they must think it helps.
And the players say it doesn't. They didn't cheat. The players didn't cheat. That's what they're saying. So
they don't
cheat.
So
we went out and played.
Again, if you know what's happening, you develop a game plan because you've cheated. That benefits the players, whether they know it or not. They are better prepared for the game.
But because the players don't know that, in my opinion, I think they don't know that. They shouldn't be penalized, in my opinion.
Again, the program. You penalize the program that's cheating. It's what should have happened with Michigan. It happened here. Like, you penalize the program. So the people from Canada will know, hey, let's not hire cheaters to coach our team.
See, I would penalize the coach, which they did, and that's it. The coach would be banned from coaching again or whatever you want. They gave her a year ban from international competition. I'd ban her from the rest of she can't coach the Canadian team ever again. If I'm the Canadian Nationals, the ones who decide who their coach is, she's banned. But I don't think the players should take the brunt of it, to be honest with you. And maybe they won't in the end because they're good. I don't know if they needed that information or not. But coaches sometimes go so overboard, they're so worried about situations that they feel that they need that extra help, and that extra help sometimes means crossing the line.
I would have kicked Canada out, but that's just me.
You hate Canada.
Same thing. I wouldn't have let Michigan play in the college football playoff. I wouldn't have let Canada play here. That's just, you're blatantly cheating. To me, you send a message to don't do this, because if you get caught,
all right,
there is a harsh penalty to be paid for it, and that gives more reason to oversee those coaches. That if you think anything might be happening, because they're talking about the fact that they've been doing this for a long time. You're telling me nobody in Canada knew they were doing this? Their national teams are doing this, and nobody in Canada knew.
I don't know.
I mean, that's crazy. Somebody knew. And so if you have a harsh penalty, those people step in and say, you all need, no, we're not doing this because we're not going to take the chance of getting kicked out of the Olympics. This hour is brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Fired up my egg last night to cook some steaks. Absolutely fantastic as always. The Big Green Egg, whether you're cooking that steak and getting it up to 650, 700 degrees like I did last night, or you need to go low and slow at 200 degrees for hours upon hours smoking something, or maybe you're looking to bake, whatever it is you need to do on that Big Green Egg. It's very easy to do with the Big Green Egg. It's the best grill there is. Last grill you'll ever need to buy. Go to biggreenegg.com or go to Ace Hardware stores here in town or Hamilton Fireplace, and you can see the Big Green Egg in person. Check out all the different sizes of the egg, all the egg accessories, everything you need to know about the Big Green Egg.
Got odds for this week's men's Olympic golf competition. We'll go over that. And John's big night in Murray, Kentucky. We'll talk about that when we return. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
If the woman of your dreams has been searching online for the perfect engagement ring, she's figured out there's a few brand names that are worthy of consideration. Hey, it's Eric Hasseltine, and she doesn't want a plain, ordinary cookie-cutter ring to wear the rest of her life. She wants a world-class designer ring, handcrafted by a true artisan that will hold value and stand the test of time. She's found Tacori, Verragio, Ajafi, Simon G., among other premium American-made designers. But when you try and find these exclusive rings, you quickly realize most stores don't offer them. They have knockoffs and lookalikes, kind of like those imitation bags and watches on the streets of New York City. But there is one jeweler where you can find the real deal, Genesis Diamonds. Genesis has been chosen by all the most sought-after designers. Genesis is your exclusive home for these iconic brand names that define excellence. Other stores can only dream of being able to offer these, but only Genesis has them. So be careful. Don't settle for anything less than the ring she is worthy of wearing. Genesis Diamonds at Poplar and Perkins Extended.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. In these uncertain economic times, there are so many things as a contractor and a business owner that I cannot control. The rising cost of materials, not to mention fuel and transportation costs. In the last 2 years, shingle prices have almost doubled, and commercial materials have doubled. and I don't have to tell you what fuel costs these days. But you know what I can control? How much markup I put on a project. I have always prided myself in knowing I never gouge a customer. But in an effort to ensure my crews have work and my customers are being treated fairly, I have lowered my profit margin, hoping to give you a price you can live with and keeping my crews busy. So if you need a roof or gutters, please give us a call. 5 Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 5 Roofing, a proud sponsor of Tiger Athletics and a member of the Tigers home team. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
All 650 acquisition fee, $20,000 per year, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte RE794066, MSRP 21820, Telluride RG 543666, MSRP 39835, EV9 R602 29603, MSRP 61035. Includes all rebates and incentives and PF 695. Includes tax, title, license, registration, and fees. Must finance through Hyundai with approved credit valid through 7/31/24. Dealer stock only.
I got Jeff Allen on the line, Gossett Kia, South Mount Moriah. Hey, dude, you ready to rock our world?
You better believe it, Randy. How about 41 MPG Highway in a 2024 Kia Forte LXS, $199 a month, $37.99 due at signing. 2024 Kia Telluride S, $379 per month, $39.99 due at signing. And 304 EPA estimated range for $389 a month in a 2024 Kia EV9 Lite, or get 0% for 48 months, $49.99 due at signing, all 24-month lease.
Plus, every Gossett Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
Or online, KiaMountMoriah.com.
Couple of texts on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line at 360-8255. Ron texts in, says Serbia only had one great player. That's Joker. Yeah, again, like Bogdanovic is a fine player. Former Grizzly great Marko Guduric, fine player.
Jovic is becoming a decent player with Miami.
But again, I mean, that's the whole thing. Like, these guys are nowhere. They wouldn't come close to making our roster.
Right.
We would have another 20, 30 people before they would even, you wouldn't even consider these guys for Team USA. Hell, they would not even make the select team that goes to Vegas to play against our team. They're not even good enough for that.
Well, I agree with that, but what is the point? What's the point from Ron? That we should beat these teams? Yes, we should beat these teams. We should clobber these teams. What was my problem was that I'm watching ESPN this morning before coming to work, and their big story about men's basketball is that Tatum didn't play. Who cares? It's all about bringing home the gold. Doesn't matter what players are out there.
Another texter says, in my opinion, it must be in the contract that Joel Embiid must start for Team USA. He's totally useless. He's lazy and lacks energy.
Yeah, I don't get why he has to start. When you have Davis.
See, this tells you how good. We're talking about the guy who finishes the top 2 of the MVP every year is get him out of there. Wait, why are we playing the guy who's top 2 in the MVP every year?
Yes, but these discussions happen when you have a bunch of not only all-stars, but the best players that are American in the NBA playing for your Olympic team. And so that's why we have these conversations. This guy should be starting. This guy should play. Why didn't he play? Who cares? They won by 26 points. Odds for this week's men's Olympic golf competition from BetMGM. As you would imagine, Scotty Scheffler is the favorite at plus 400, but it's close. Xander Schauffele at plus 450 after winning 2 majors this season. Then you drop down to Rory McIlroy at plus 850. Colin Morikawa at plus 1,100. Jon Rahm also at plus 1,100. Jon Rahm winning on the LIV Tour this past weekend, his first win as part of the LIV Tour. He won in Great Britain. That's where they had the LIV event. Oberg is plus 1,100. Fleetwood plus 2,000. Shane Lowry, Victor Hovland at plus 2,200. And then you drop down to Hideki Matsuyama, Joaquin Niemann at plus 2,800, Tom Kim plus 3,000. That's a star-studded field, though, for golf in the Olympics, if you care about Olympic golf.
Yeah. It's the best in the world. It should be. And with no live restrictions. It's basically like a major as far as field goes.
And because it's an Olympic year, this past weekend you had the 3M, Johnny Vegas winning. So Johnny Vegas has vaulted into the top 70 on the FedEx Cup points list, meaning he'll come to Memphis unless, some craziness happens at Wyndham. But there's no event this week. Correct? It's got the Olympics. There's no event this week. So only next week in the Wyndham is the last chance to get into the FedEx Cup playoffs and into Memphis as a top 70 member. Congratulations to Ja Morant, who was inducted into the Murray State Sports Hall of Fame on Saturday night. I saw some of the pictures, photos from the event. I saw the interview with Ja. The event brought out a lot of the big names, including Grizzlies president of basketball operations, general manager Zach Kleiman. You had Taylor Jenkins, head coach. Cameron Payne and Isaiah Cannon, fellow Murray State alums, were there to honor Ja Morant. I think Ja Morant also, if I'm not mistaken, has another new shoe coming out. Is that right, Zach?
Yeah, the Ja 2s.
Did that drop during his Hall of Fame thing? Or
teased.
It was teased and now it's dropping now?
It should be dropping soon. Yeah.
So good for Ja. Again, the big comeback story. Now let me ask you this. If Ja Morant has the season we think he should have, he has to be up for comeback player of the year, correct?
Yep.
Going through what he did now, I know the suspension was the start of the year, then the injury. I would think he's a perfect candidate, a prime candidate, to be in position to be the comeback player of the year in the NBA. But congratulations to Ja on that honor. We'll have a little more on the Grizzlies coming up in hour number 2. Do want to tell you folks about Shoot 360 Memphis, from preps to pros. This is just a cool place for basketball players that want to perfect their shot, want to become better all-around basketball players. You can challenge yourself, compete with others, learn the proper ways to shoot the basketball using modern analytics. It's a revolutionary training facility that combines cutting-edge technology with expert coaching to improve shooting skills. The facility is equipped with advanced shooting machines that provide real-time feedback on shooting accuracy and arc and depth. Players can track their progress and analyze their performance. And this is players of all skill levels. They can benefit from the personalized training programs that they offer. Everything the athletes do in their facility is recorded and stored in a members app, and you can watch their progress in real time. So again, you're looking to be a better all-around basketball player, perfect your shot. Parents, you got basketball players, you got kids that are basketball players in your family, grandparents out there. You have grandsons and granddaughters that play the game of basketball. Coaches, this is great for team members as well. Great players, including the greatest shooter of all time, Steph Curry, use the same system as Shoot 360. So at Shoot 360 Memphis, 2 locations in Collierville and now open in Cordova. You can become a member at either one or a member at both. And they have transitioned to monthly membership, so you're not bogged down with this long-term membership. Do yourself a favor, give them a call, and set up a tour of the facility. I guarantee you will fall in love with it. 901-316-5500. That's 901-316-5500. Or sign up online at Shoot 360 Memphis, where the preps and pros go to get their shot on. That Shoot 360 Memphis.
The problem with winning the comeback player of the year is the fact that they don't give it. But if they did give out a comeback player of the year.
Did you have to look that up? They don't have a comeback player of the year?
1986 was the last time they handed out that award, so if this was 1986, he'd have a chance to win it.
What do they have that equates to that? Anything?
The best teammate award.
Well, no.
But I think Mike Conley got that on lock, though.
Yeah,
That's just going to be tough.
He owns that award.
There's no Comeback Player of the Year award anymore. Is there a Most Improved? Can you improve?
Jaws already won that.
All right, never mind. Hour 2 on the way. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Chris Price here for Brian Elder Roofing. For nearly 2 decades, we've installed some of the best roof systems across the Mid-South. To the tens of thousands of clients we've served, we are honored. So many of you call our team at Brian Elder Roofing your roofers. Our team is dedicated to serving you and keeping your family safe, dry, and mold-free. The recent hailstorms have caused massive damage, and many of these will go unnoticed for years, even though the golf ball-sized hail we just experienced in the Mid-South compromises even the best-built roof systems. Whether we find damage or not, your photos are securely stored for future reference. Call Brian Elder Roofing today for a total evaluation of your entire roof system free. We will not try to sell you a roof if all you need is a repair. Call me at 901-867-0303. That's 901-867-0303. Or visit us online at
Summertime's finally here, and that means it's time to party. Lucky for you, Family Leisure is having a summertime to party sale. Now, what's all included in this party sale? Practically everything. 24-foot above ground pools for as little as $19.99. All ladders, filter systems, and even robotic cleaners are 20% off. Come in and look at all of the in-stock patio furniture Family Leisure has. Plus, it's up to 50% off. Play gyms for the kids, that's $1,000 off. Patio umbrellas, take 20% off. You can get a 4-person hot tub for just under $3,000. We know you're really going to just use it for yourself. Family Leisure has discounted pricing on all in-stock pool toys and floats while the supplies last, so you better get in quick. Plus, Family Leisure has special financing available. Just ask an associate for all the details. Summertime means party time, and Family Leisure is ready for any party. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun all come together.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
It's the season for fun, sun, and savings at the Volkswagen Savvy Summer Sales Event. Going on now at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike, and I've got Jason, the main man Marshall, on the phone to give you the lowdown.
Randy, I've got the 2024 Taos SE, $299 a month, 36 miles per gallon on the highway. 2024 Atlas Peak Editions, $5,000 off or just 0.9% APR for 60 months. And the new 2024 Tiguan's $3,000 off or just 1.9% APR for 60 months. And the list of savings goes on and on at Gossett Volkswagen on Covenant Pike. And remember, no reasonable offer will be refused.
Summer fun has begun. Ask for Jason, the main man Marshall, at Gossett Volkswagen, 1875 Covington Pike, or online at GossettVWMemphis.com.
Where we're charging for it and charging less every day.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Oh, yeah. Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. It's just now starting to pick up a little bit more volume on 385 Billmore's Parkway coming inbound, which has been in pretty good shape coming out of Collierville this morning, headed towards Memphis. As you come up from the south, up through South Haven on 55 northbound. At the moment, that still looks good all the way up 55 there to Brooks. Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64 is your full-service, family-owned jewelry store right here in the Memphis area. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Isn't it a lovely morning?
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:05 is the time. Hour 2 here on Sports 56 Mornings, the Monday, July 29th, 2024 edition. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd with you, broadcasting live from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Check them out today. Currently 79 degrees, on the way up to 94. It's going to be a hot one. Got a mixture of clouds and sun. Then tonight, clear skies, low 79. Tomorrow for your Tuesday, sunshine with 96 degrees. Right now, your forecast as far as the high temperature is concerned. And finally, the rain is gone for the foreseeable future. We had a lot of rain over the last week or so. Coming up a little bit later on in the show, we'll talk some college football. Camps opening up this week. Memphis opens on Wednesday. Ole Miss will open up on Tuesday, meaning tomorrow. So David Johnson will join us to talk some Rebels football. That'll be at 9:05. He covers Ole Miss sports for 24/7 Sports. That's 247 Sports. Hour 2 of the program is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. They are your family's jeweler. Located at 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. Each Monday and Friday, they bring you the Memphis Sports Fact. Did you know there are 4 Memphians on the Titans summer camp roster? They are Quentin Bohannon, who played at Cordova and the University of Kentucky, Tony Pollard, who played at Melrose, Jabari Small, who played at Briarcrest, and Morgan Cox, who played at ECS. For all your bridal engagement and anniversary jewelry needs, for those beautiful watches and pendants and earrings and necklaces and bracelets, if you need a simple cleaning, if you need just advice or you need something of praise, James Gaddis Jewelers, your full-service jewelers, been a part of the Memphis fabric for decades and decades. Check them out at 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. All right, so before we dive into some NFL and some Major League Baseball, there was big news on Friday, although nothing yet concrete, unless I'm mistaken here, but Ross Dellinger has written about the House settlement and what is going to come out of it and how it's going to affect college sports. And we talked a little bit about it on Friday with roster sizes. He says the NCAA's long-form House settlement outlines a new enforcement model to prevent phony NIL deals from boosters. Includes special master and arbitrator to police rev share cap, and includes escalators to push cap over $25 million. In other words, there's going to be revenue sharing. There's still going to be NIL. But now the NIL and these collectives are going to have to deal with a third party for any deal that is $600 or more. And we know there's going to be a lot of deals that are $600 or more. And it's got to be approved by a clearinghouse. The last time they used the clearinghouse, which was a little bit different, was the IARP? What was the one that Memphis had to go through for the penalties? They created that clearinghouse just recently, and then they dropped it. They dropped it like a rock. Well, now, with NIL, they're talking about a third party, a clearinghouse, to approve all these deals? Come on now. I know they want to make sure there's no phony deals. I'm using the air quotes. But this is going to it's going to clog up things. There's a billion different NIL deals that are more than $600.
Yeah, I mean, again, if people want them to put something in place, I mean, they got to do, I don't know, it is what it is.
You want some policing. I understand that. But I think this is ridiculous to, first of all, put it at a $600 level, because there are so many that are going to be above that. I mean, if you're talking about a deal with a young man or woman for $1 million or more, that's when, okay, let's have a third party involved. Let's see what's going on here. to make sure it's, even though I'm going to say within the rules, we don't really have rules. But that's why I understand policing to a certain regard, to a certain point. But my gosh, $600 or more? It's going to be so time-consuming. We need to get some of our friends who deal with collectives on the air once this is finalized to get their thoughts on it. And then, of course, you have, which we started to touch on Monday, the topic of the rosters. The NCAA's historic expansion of scholarships to extend to full rosters means, this is according to Ross Dellinger, that roughly 790 new scholarship spots are available across the 40-plus NCAA sports listed in the settlement. So different sports have different scholarship limits. Football is 105. Normally it has 85. And you may think to yourself, well, that's great. There's 20 more scholarships. Well, there's no more walk-ons. That's it. Your number is 105. And you can break down the scholarships any way you want. But that's your number. So the number of players is going to be significantly down. May not be the quality necessarily of the player, but then again, with a school like Memphis, they have really benefited from walk-ons. And I know Ryan Silverfield can't be happy about that. But that's the direction they seem to be going in. So you have to find not only the money for now 105 scholarship players. Again, you don't have to go full scholarship, but if you don't go full scholarship, then other school's going to offer full scholarship. So it's 105 for football. So you got to find 20 more, right? 20 more scholarships from your 85. No more walk-ons, but the amount of money now you're going to spend for those 20 scholarships, whatever that comes out to, and then you have revenue sharing. So those players will all be in the category of being able to, all these athletes will be in the category of being able to benefit from revenue sharing. And we've seen those numbers thrown around. Some of them 20, 21, 22 million. It's going to be hard enough for the big boys to deal with those types of numbers. Although the biggest boys will have no problem, I would imagine. But everybody else, they're going to struggle.
Yeah, again, this is it probably just increases the separation between the Power Four and the Group of Five because when you're trying to add 20 more scholarships, that's tough to do. It's going to be tough for the Group of Five teams to figure out that. Yeah, the way I understand, like, you don't have to. Like, you could stay at 85. And
right.
You could have walk-ons. You could convince somebody to walk on to your program, and they're willing to do it. But they just have a lot more options. We'll have a lot. The Power Four now. That's a lot of teams that have 20 more scholarships to hand out. So, do they pick more of just? Does that just make the Ducks, that group of people? Now, you'll still be able to convince some to go maybe to a Group of Five because of playing time situation. Where do you want to go rather than go be the 103rd person on their roster? You could come into our place and play and these things. So, but it gives them a chance to even more flex their financial muscles over the Group of Five because most of these places can afford to do these things. Which the Group of Five schools really can't.
Like I said, and Memphis has gotten lucky with these walk-ons. I mean, preferred walk-ons, that's a good job by the coaching staff, scouting, realizing that this player could be very beneficial, but right now we don't have a scholarship available. And those players, they say, okay, I want to play for the hometown team. Let's give it a shot. And it worked out. Anthony Miller being one of them, Alan Cross being another. There's been several noteworthy walk-ons that turned into terrific football players and have gone on to the National Football League, which is just nuts when you think about it. But it puts Memphis behind the 8 ball if they want to stay at 85 and use the other 20 for walk-ons. Because, again, those walk-ons will have now more options. Certainly at the big schools, the power schools, that will use all 105. But even with schools that are on equal level to the University of Memphis, they may decide we're going to go 105 scholars. We're going to go 95 scholarships. we're going to do this, and Memphis State at 85 with 20 walk-ons, they'll be behind the 8 ball. You got to find that money to be able to front that. And then, of course, all those athletes are involved in revenue sharing when that starts, which is sooner than later. Not to mention NIL deals, which are separate, which we just talked about, and has nothing to do with the football program of the university shelling out the money. But it is these collectives, and now the collectives are going to have to go through a process where they haven't since it was. What year did it really start, NIL?
I don't remember what the first year was legal. It was, I think,
22.
I don't know if it was coming right out of COVID or when it exactly started when they legalized it. And the thing is too, like this again is where Ed Scott is coming in at a incredibly difficult time to become the AD at the University of Memphis, because you're basically being told, like, by the way, you need to find all of this extra money that you're going to be between scholarships, revenue sharing, all of these things, while you're also trying to figure out a way to raise a bunch of money for your stadium renovation.
Right.
Like it's not easy at the University of Memphis to just walk around and just be like, hey, give us money, and people are just throwing you millions of dollars. So you're trying to figure out, okay, like how in the world, like where are we getting all of this money? We got to raise another 25, 26 or whatever $1 million for the stadium. And also by next year, we got to be ready to pay whatever it is we're going to be able to pay to the athletes. We're going to have to have these scholarships, as many more, because it's not just we're talking about. It's not like we're just talking about football. Scholarships and all the other sports that are going up. Like what can we afford? And I do not envy him. Like you're talking about walking into a job at like just an incredibly tough situation and an incredibly tough time. Man, that is a lot of money for the University of Memphis to try and figure out where they're getting it.
Plus, you just lost your chief revenue officer who left to go to Missouri. Plus, you lost your deputy athletics director who's been overseeing the project of Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium's renovations to South Carolina. Dr. Ed Scott starts today. He's probably on his way, if not already there, at the University of Memphis. I believe that's the schedule. He starts today after the announcement several weeks ago. And hopefully we'll have Ed on very soon, and looking forward to working with him indirectly, and having him on the show. But yeah, he is walking into a hornet's nest. I mean, I'm sure he's very, very confident with. I'm sure he has a list and names that he feels that he can call and they'll come and be a part of this Memphis program moving forward. There hopefully is some great days ahead. I think there are. But right now there's going to be some rough waters to navigate while you're going through this situation financially and personnel-wise. But I want to wish Ed nothing but the best. All right, when we come back, I want to talk some NFL. Some big contracts were announced over the weekend, especially when it comes to quarterbacks. And Major League Baseball, a bunch of deals were made. There will be many more deals today and some tomorrow as well, as the trade deadline will be tomorrow. And so we'll talk about that on the program as well. I want to tell you folks about Corky's. Corky's Ribs and Barbecue. You can dine in, you can carry out, drive-through, no-contact delivery. They have specialized in catering since they've been in existence, which is about 4 decades. So if you have an event coming up, you want to cater, tailgating before too long at football games, high school and college, whatever the case may be, maybe even Corky's for a Sunday afternoon watching the NFL. They will cater your event starting as low as $8.99 per person. Party packs that start at just $7.49. You get out a third of a rack of ribs for just $7.99 when you purchase an entree. Their barbecue sandwiches are great. Their catfish plates are award-winning. They got great tamales as well. 4 convenient locations in the Mid-South. They're at Poplar Avenue in Memphis, Poplar Avenue in Collierville, Germantown Parkway in Cordova, and Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Corky's Ribs and Barbecue, open for lunch and dinner 7 days a week. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
This Sports 56 traffic report is brought to you by Luttrell Belting. They keep you smoke is our sauce.
What is the Central Barbecue slogan? What are we playing?
Well, I just think that we don't emphasize often enough that even though Central Barbecue offers a variety of sauces at all of their many locations, Central Barbecue's barbecue doesn't even really need the sauce.
We should mention that more often. Central Barbecue doesn't take any shortcuts. The barbecue at Central Barbecue is slow-smoked Memphis style for 24 hours to make it so flavorful you really don't need sauce.
That was my point. Well, boy, do they have great sauces.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying I'm going to go sauce-free at Central Barbecue. I'm just saying I could.
Again, exactly my point. Look at my copy. It's the first thing I said. You just hijacked the commercial.
See how it feels?
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. In these uncertain economic times, there are so many things as a contractor and a business owner that I cannot control. The rising cost of materials, not to mention fuel and transportation costs. In the last 2 years, shingle prices have almost doubled, and commercial materials have doubled. And I don't have to tell you what fuel costs these days. But you know what I can control? How much markup I put on a project. I have always prided myself in knowing I never gouge a customer. But in an effort to ensure my crews have work and my customers are being treated fairly, I have lowered my profit margin, hoping to give you a price you can live with and keeping my crews busy. So if you need a roof or gutters, please give us a call. Five Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. Five Ash Roofing, a proud sponsor of Tiger Athletics and a member of the Tigers home team. 367-0050 or MemphisRoofer.com. 367-0050 or MemphisRoofer.com.
I've got 2023 Jeep Renegade Latitude four-wheel drive, $26,095 or $388 a month. That's a rockin' Jeep deal. What else you got, Ronnie? Power up in a 2023 Dodge Charger SXT, $26,795 or $398 a month. And Ronnie, I know you're into big business summer events. You gotta have an incredible Ram deal. 2024 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab four-wheel drive, $697 a month. Rockin' Ronnie is rocking some deals today. So drive past the rest and come to the desk at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Piker Shop or online at GossettMotorCars.net.
Renegade Triple P 57256 MSRP 31095 Charger PH 636170 MSRP 37215 Ram RN 203232 MSRP 588. Price includes all rebates and incentives and excludes PF 695. All exclude tax, file, and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Dealer stock only.
They're taking care of beerness in Memphis, right on the river with Grind City Brewing and all of their great products. Look, this was a dream come true for a father and son duo. And if you have not been to that brewery right on the river, just to the north of downtown, you're really missing something special. And now you can't miss their products. Wherever you go, you see a brand new label. It's clean, it's beautiful, it's distinctive. You'll know Grind City Brewing, and of course you know their products like Poppy's Pills, that great Pilsner, or Tiger Tail, that very creative craft malt liquor. There's the new Thaddeus Amber Lager. That is absolutely a great light beer. There's the India Pale called Godhopper. It's outstanding. And then there's the Belga, the Belgian-style wheat ale. They keep bringing hits at Grind City Brewing.
Is your vehicle stopping like it should? Does it squeal or grind when you brake? Don't miss out on summer brake deals at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. MPD cleaning up a couple of minor accidents. Hadn't been that bad out here. It got a little bit busier in the last few minutes on 240, especially over here between Sam Cooper and Walnut Grove. Still looks good. 55 northbound right now as you come up from DeSoto County up through South Haven. Weimer's Jewelry, located 7525 Highway 64, is your full-service, family-owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Genuine diamonds, baby.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
More NFL quarterbacks are getting paid. Jordan Love gets his deal from the Packers, 4 years, $220 million. $75 million signing bonus that will tie Joe Burrow and Trevor Lawrence as far as average per year at $55 million per season. Love takes over, obviously, last year for Aaron Rodgers, puts together a very nice season, has all the tools to become a great quarterback, but it's not a lot of it's not a big resume to get that type of deal. But that's their guy.
That's that's the thing when you draft a quarterback and don't play him right away. You end up, you kind of got to give him, you get to that second contract and you don't have a whole lot to go by. So there's a lot of just kind of almost guessing here. I mean, good, he was very good at the end of the year. Early in the year, he wasn't that good. End of the year, he was good. And now you're making him the highest paid quarter guy in the league. It's these contracts are just, it's just all about timing. Like if you're a starting quarterback, like you just want to be the next guy.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. It's about the options that you have. For example, San Francisco, they had drafted Trey Lance, top 5, right? What was he, 3rd pick overall, whatever it was. They get incredibly lucky with Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, who after next season will have to get paid. But right now they got him on the cheap, and Brock Purdy has turned into this incredible quarterback. That made Trey Lance expendable, and they got rid of him. No harm, no foul for them because they found Purdy. Well, Green Bay threw all their eggs into one basket. Love was going to be the heir apparent to Rodgers, and then Rodgers kept playing well. He kept playing good. He kept playing leading Green Bay, and Love never got his opportunity. And then finally Rodgers departs and goes to the Jets, and Love gets his chance. And like you said, slow start, strong finish, and it's enough because of the timing of everything, as he was due for this second contract, to get $220 million for 4 years. Wow.
It's a good world to live in, to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. It's a tough job, really tough job, but they will pay you to do it.
They're going to pay Tua Tagovailoa 4 years, $212.4 million. That's the extension he gets with the Dolphins. Now, he is entering, his 5th season, if I'm not mistaken. Highest paid player now in Dolphins history as Tua gets his money. It seemed like perhaps they were a little reluctant. Not as much as some of these other guys, but still way up there as far as per year average.
Yeah, he's 4th. Yeah, it's just being the next guy up, and Tua's been good.
Statistically, great year last year, but here's the problem with Tua: he's 1-6 versus I forget the number I heard today driving in, versus playoff teams was it, whatever the case may be. He does not have a great track record versus teams that are, quite frankly, better than Miami. He's beating the teams he should beat. He's not beating the teams that are better than Miami. So he needs to take that next step if Miami is to take that next step. And I'm not so sure that they had to pay the guy. I have no problem with him getting paid. Like you said, statistically, he put up some incredible numbers. I just don't know if Miami will get to the promised land with him.
Well, again, it's just hard because if you just look right now what they will be paying him, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle gets the big extension. You're going to lose players. You can't, if you're paying all of these guys that much money, other guys you can't pay, and you're going to lose them. And I'll continue. I just don't understand. To me, all it is ego. But the reason the Patriots were able to do what they did is because Tom Brady said, "You know what? I'm making plenty of money.
Yep.
I'm going to be rich beyond belief anyway." Now, granted, he had a supermodel wife that helped that out. But if you're one of these quarterbacks, is $35 to $40 million a year not enough for you to live off? And then maybe that allows them to get a left tackle to protect you or keep your receivers or whatever. But it's just all they have to be the highest paid. They got to get the next biggest deal. And that's why I love what Jalen Brunson did with the Knicks. He took less money. Let's get other players. I'm going to be rich regardless. I would rather have a chance to actually win a championship by having other players we can now afford on the team. And That's the, like the ones that keep saying it's all about winning a championship, but then all you do is go get the most money you can possibly make. No, then it's not just about winning a championship. It's about making the most money you can make and being able to say, I'm the highest paid guy for whatever month it is that before somebody else gets the new contract.
A lot of it is just ego driven, right? You want to be the highest paid quarterback. It's an ego thing. You want to be the highest paid wide receiver. But you're absolutely right. If you want a chance to win it all, which should be the ultimate goal of every player out there, then you need help around you. Hey, if you start getting hit left and right, and getting sacked all the time, then you're probably going to regret taking the big contract and not, taking a little bit off the top to go towards a player or two to protect you, whatever the case may be. But I try to put myself into that position. Think about it, like, what would I do? It's easy for me to say, I would have taken a discount and had them use that for other players. I don't know. We're not in that situation. I don't know if I was an NFL quarterback, if I wouldn't have that ego too, to be the number one highest paid quarterback at the time and not think about that. I mean, Brady, you're right. Rich beyond, our wildest dreams. And a supermodel wife who made, I think, even more than him.
Way more than him.
So money was not an object. With others, it's their first. Now, they got paid as a rookie, got paid pretty good money, but this is the first big contract now, and you probably want it all. You want to be paid. You want to be paid the maximum amount of money. You never know when the next play is your last play. So you want to get the big signing bonus. You want to get the guaranteed money. But you're right. Absolutely. Guys like Jalen Brunson, Pat Mahomes has done that a little bit too, hasn't he? He's taking a little off the top, I think.
Nah, I mean, he just signed his a long time ago. Like, he was the first of this whole wave, and he signed like the 10-year deal.
I'll bet, though, and I don't know when it's up and how old it'll be and what type of player it'll be, but if there's another deal to come, that he would do that as well. But, yeah, I mean, it's not probably 90% of the players are going to take what they can get, the most they can get, and not think about, well, if I took a little bit less, then we could go out and get this guy, and I'd be in a better situation and a better chance to win. I mean, do you believe that in the end, players want to win more than they want to have individual success? I mean,
well, they also,
in reality,
and all of them will always say it's all about winning a championship. I want championship.
Is it, though?
Championship. And,
is it?
Well, no, they prove that it's not every time they sign a new contract. It's simply about making the most money they can make. That's what it's about. Yeah, I don't know. Like, if I'm one of these guys, how I would be. I would like to think that I would. You know what? I think I can survive off $35 to $40 million a year, and you can use the other $10 to $15 million a year to go get me a receiver, go get me an offensive lineman, go get me this or that. I don't know. Like, I've never going to be in that situation. Never was in that situation. It just drives me crazy when they always try and say it's just about winning championships. That's all that matters. It's all one thing that matters is winning championships. But yet, when the contract time comes up, they all want to make sure that they're the highest paid guy. I mean, Dak Prescott has already had a huge contract, and he wants to in this new deal, if they ever get one done with him or wherever he goes, he's going to want to be the highest paid quarterback. Like, why? You've already made a ton of money. You're going to make a ton more. Why wouldn't you want to try and win a Super Bowl while you've got a chance to do it? And they don't. None of them think that way.
Well, think about college quarterbacks, right, that have the ability to go to the NFL. And you talk to them, and if they're being honest, they're not saying, I want to go to the NFL to a team that can win a Super Bowl. They're talking about getting to the NFL. I want to be a starting quarterback in the National Football League, or I want to make it to the NFL as a player, whatever the position may be. That's their goal, is just to get
that's
there.
your first goal.
But once
you can't do anything until you're there.
But once they get there, it's now, I want to make as much money as I can. I don't think there are as many, especially young players, but I'm talking about even beyond the rookie years, their first contract, that are thinking to themselves, I want a ring so bad that I will take much less money in my contract. No, it's very rare to find those type of athletes. Now, down the road, when they're 15 to 20 years in the National Football League and they go, I can go to a team now and be a backup quarterback and maybe win a ring or try to make a roster and be a starter on a team that's mediocre, they'll probably tend to go to a team that can compete and possibly win a Super Bowl because you feel that void at the end of your career. I can't speak for them. I'm just thinking that's probably the thought process. But they've already gotten all their money. It's all about it's making the league and making as much money as you can. And then if a championship happens, that's fantastic. But in the end, when you're retired, I'm sure Karl Malone and John Stockton felt like there was that void. They never got to win an NBA title. But you know what? We made a lot of money. We were NBA players. Pretty darn good. So in the end, not the end of the world for most of them. Also from the NFL, the Jets signed UFL MVP Adrian Martinez from Birmingham.
Yeah, there's a lot of, I don't know what the number is even at now, but there's a lot of the UFL guys who are getting these camp opportunities, and we'll see how many are able to end up sticking around either on a practice squad or whatever. But Josiah Bronson from the Showboats just signed with New England.
Right.
But there's, I don't remember, I can't remember what the number is total now of guys who played in the UFL this past year that are in camps with, Nehemiah Shelton, who was in camp with the Jets. He got cut. They're coming in and out. And again, we'll see how many end up staying in the league or whatever. But there is a ton of guys who have at least got the opportunity to go to camp out of the UFL.
Well, you would think that Adrian Martinez, and I don't know who else is on the Jets roster as far as quarterbacks are concerned. Zach Wilson's now gone and in Denver. Adrian Martinez, with his talents, he has a chance to make the team. If not the 45, he has a chance to certainly be on the practice squad. Coming off a great year.
Yeah, again, he was fantastic. Alex Magoo, who was the MVP the last year and was with the Packers, he got cut now. So, I mean, there's no guarantee. But, yeah, I mean, Adrian Martinez was fantastic in the UFL, and see if he can end up sticking around, at least on a practice squad, which was what Magoo was last year with Green Bay, was on their practice squad. And, again, if you could hang around on a practice squad for a whole year, you're doing all right. You're making good money. Your practice squad guy for the entire year is not a bad gig.
More bad news for your Cowboys. They're dealing with CeeDee Lamb's holdout, and we'll see what happens. Prescott's going to play, but trying to iron out a long-term contract with him. Sam Williams, defensive end, tore his ACL in camp. That sucks.
Yeah, former Ole Miss Rebel, who's a really good pass rusher, you hate to see that. Unfortunately, this happens every year in the NFL, that these injuries take place in camp and guys miss an entire season because of it. It's just part of the sport. But yeah, it's hate to see that for anybody. Day 3 or 4, whatever, and your year's over. Yeah, that's got to be a rough one.
Major League Baseball trade deadline is tomorrow. A number of teams making moves, including your Cubs. Thought the Cubs were going. Didn't the GM come out and say that, we're not going to, if we do anything, it's not going to be really for the current season, it's for the future. But isn't this a move that can help them maybe make a push here in the last 50 games of the season?
It could, but it's also about what he said is we're not going out to try and rent players for the rest of this year to do anything. Anything we do is going to be about 2025 and beyond. And
Paredes, his contract ends after this year, right?
He's got their team control through 2027.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, so that's a good. Like they're going to. It's a move for the future. Can it help them this year? Yeah, it could certainly help them for this year. But it's a guy that they have control through 2027. So they have. It's about the future, and it's an interesting deal. Christopher Morel is a guy that they like a lot. Came up last year. And he's got a ton of power. But he was, his batting average, he's hitting like 195. He's not consistent contact-wise, some of those things. And defensively, he just really doesn't have a position that he could play. Now, obviously, with the DH, that you can use him still. But I was a little surprised to see them give up on him at this point. But again, he has one more year of he's through 2028. Paredes is through 2027. So they're giving up basically 1 year of team control for a guy who's been more accomplished at the major league level, was an all-star this year, had a good year last year, and can be, a guy that can play at third base. Morel, they try playing at third base. It's just not very good down there. Paredes is a guy that can play third. He can play second. He can play first. He can do a lot of things defensively that Morel just couldn't do.
Yep, Paredes, the all-star third baseman, so an exchange of third basemen. The Marlins also get a reliever and a prospect as well. They made a number of deals. The Marlins, there's a lot of baseball people out there that think the Marlins have done pretty well for their future. We'll see about that. Yankees get Jazz Chisholm for 3 prospects as they make the deal with the Marlins. The Marlins get a top catcher prospect in AAA for the Yankees and a couple of infielders. Also, the Phillies get a closer in the Angels closer, Carlos Estevez, 2.38 ERA, 20 saves. They trade away 2 top pitching prospects, 2 of their better pitching prospects, because there's a little instability in the bullpen. There always has been for the Phillies, and now they feel they got the guy to close out games.
Can't have enough bullpen arms in today's baseball.
Padres acquire reliever Jason Adam from the Rays for their top pitching prospect and a couple of others. And again, moves are expected today, including the possibility, at least the rumors out there, that the Cardinals could be shipping Tommy Edman somewhere. Yankees being one of those teams that may be interested.
Yeah, there's talk of a 3-team deal, possibly getting the White Sox involved, where the Cardinals end up getting one of those starting pitchers from the White Sox. The Rays, boy, when the Rays get going on selling, they do not mess around. They may get rid of their entire major league roster. I don't even know who's going to be left when all is said and done in Tampa Bay. But this is the way they do it. They know they can't spend money, so they'll do this. They'll stock their farm system, and in 2 or 3 years, all these guys will come up and they'll be great somehow. They're amazing at doing it. And but man, oh man, Zach Eflin, Jason Adam, Paredes, they are just, it's who knows how many, or Rosarena, it's just one after another. The Rays will unload their entire major league roster and put a AAA team out there by the end of the year.
Did you see the photo when Rosarena got traded the next night? He hadn't left yet for Seattle. He and his family were in the stands watching the Rays play.
Yeah.
I mean, really, that's pretty cool. Rosarena, of course, the former Memphis Redbird. All right, if you don't want to know the result of the Nadal-Djokovic match, then lower your radio right now. 3, 2, 1. Djokovic, the Joker, winning. Rafael Nadal has been eliminated from the 2024 tennis singles Olympic play, and that was on clay court, which is his expert. He's great at all the courts, on all of those guys are. Nadal, Djokovic, Federer was, but that's his specialty, the clay. And Djokovic was able to win, or Djokovic, whichever way you want to pronounce it. He gets the win. He moves on, and Nadal is eliminated. Okay, one other note from the NBA. Boogie Ellis, the former Memphis Tiger, signs a deal with the Sacramento Kings and has a chance to make the roster during camp. They have one open roster spot. Boogie shot 54% from 3 in Summer League.
Yep, had a good Summer League, giving himself an opportunity. Good for him. See if he can find a way to at least get a 2-way deal, something out of it.
Yeah, congratulations to him. Town Village Audubon Park is senior living in today's world, located at 950 Cherry Road, just off Park Avenue, offering more options to fit your needs more than ever before. They are dedicated to the long-term satisfaction and the quality of life for their residents. All they ask is that you're 55 years of age or older. You can call. You can set up a tour. 901-537-0002. That's 901-537-0002. They'll answer any question you have. You can also go online to find out more about them at townvillageaudubonpark.com. Independent living, short-term respite stay, monthly options available, great event schedule, activities galore for their residents, everything you need to continue to enjoy life to its fullest. Their basic services and amenities include apartments that have a full kitchen, washer and dryer, all-inclusive resort-style dining with multiple venues, monthly rental with no buy-in, bi-weekly housekeeping, outpatient therapy. Plus their community amenities, they have a social area that features a fitness center, a home theater, game rooms, indoor pool, whirlpool, bistro, fruit stand, 24-hour pantry. They have 5 landscape courtyards, resident gardening areas, a dog park, dog park, and gated parking as well. Just a few of the amenities that they have at Town Village Audubon Park. 950 Cherry Road, just off Park Avenue in the heart of East Memphis. Call them at 901-537-0002 or go online to townvillageaudubonpark.com. When we come back, Jeff Calkins, an interesting topic that is one of those topics you can certainly debate on his top. It's not just Jeff Calkins, but all the guys over at the Daily Memphian. They've put together a list of the top 25 athletes from Memphis over the last century, the start of this 21st century. It's an interesting list. They've only gone through their first 10, going 25 to 15, but we want to talk about that and maybe some of the names that you will see when that list continues to be revealed at the DM. We'll do that when we return. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Case IH is a proud supporter of the Mississippi Farm Bureau, and thanks to a membership benefits partnership, Mississippi Farm Bureau members receive a discount of up to $500 on every qualifying Case IH tractor and piece of equipment you purchase. This discount may be used with other promotions, rebates, or offers. So join Mid-South Ag Equipment and the Mississippi Farm Bureau and pocket up to $500 in savings. Call Mid-South Ag at 662-890-3141 to get your discount today.
Savings. Now that's speaking the Lowe's language. And when you join My Lowe's Rewards for free, the savings just keep coming. Save money with member-only offers, plus earn points when you shop. More points equal more rewards, just for you. Because Lowe's knows you earned it, literally. Learn more about our loyalty program at lowes.com/MyLowe'sRewards and become a member for free today. Program subject to terms and conditions. Points are awarded on eligible purchases. See lowes.com/terms for full details. Subject to change.
When you think about insurance and you want great value without sacrificing great service, I want you to think one place, the Eflin Insurance and the entire Eflin Insurance team. Matt and his group of professionals will access 10 leading companies to find the right home and auto program that fits your budget and your absolute needs. The Eflin Insurance team, the number 386-GER, 386-4777.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Diamonds are forever. Woo!
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back here in the Family Leisure Studios. Sports 56 Mornings, 8:47 the time on what is expected to be a very nice Monday, but a very hot Monday. The congratulations, by the way, congratulations to Tyus Jones getting the deal with the Phoenix Suns, although probably not as much money as he was expecting to make this year, but got a chance to go and could have a very good year because he is a lot of what Phoenix needs in a point guard. We'll see how much they use him, but has a good year there, then maybe he can get paid next offseason.
So when I saw a story that was out there over the weekend, a report that Memphis and Phoenix was in the clubhouse as the leaders to acquire Tyus Jones, the first thing I thought to myself was, he's not coming to Memphis. He's not coming back to Memphis. He's absolutely going to Phoenix. And that was the case. So good for him, for Tyus Jones. Now, I'm not saying the Grizzlies couldn't use the Tyus Jones, but with the situation they have, the emergence of Scottie Pippen Jr., Derrick Rose still under contract, it didn't make any sense that they would use that. And they don't even have the roster spot right now because they still have the guy they picked up in the trade with Brooklyn that's on the roster. And who knows if he'll start with the team as an active member of the roster. They could drop him and would cost him, $1 million plus? A little over $1 million?
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't know exactly what his is.
What's his name again? I always forget his name. I want to say Diabate every time. So they could hold on to him and then make a move before the trade deadline. I doubt it. I think they'll end up dropping him. But yeah, it didn't make any sense that they were going to bring back Tyus Jones. But good for Tyus. All right, so I mentioned before the break the Daily Memphian. I love these types of topics. They're topics where there's no right or wrong. It's very debatable. We bring up a lot of them here on the show. But they put together their list of their top 25 Memphis athletes for this century. And I know they've already gone from 25 to through 16. Is Is that what the case is, Eli?
Mm-hmm.
And so in the next coming days, they'll finish off that list. And it's accomplishments. It's what these athletes have done, what they've accomplished here in Memphis. They don't have to be Memphis born, just here in Memphis, and what they've accomplished either in their careers or so far in their careers. And you want to go over what they have from 25 to 16?
25 is Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 24 is Sean McKeel. 23, Calvin Austin. 22 is Nina Davis. 21, Anthony Miller. 20 is Steven Gostkowski. Number 19, Brent Rooker. Number 18, Brady White. 17, Jaren Jackson Jr. And 16, Tony Allen.
See, very hard to compare, for example, Nina Davis to Sean McKeel. And Sean McKeel won a major on the PGA Tour. And we're not talking about, because there are some people out there that think, well, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., he's a race car driver. He's not an athlete. Well, first of all, I think you have to be an athlete and athletic to be able to do that. But there are some people that don't believe golfers are. But Sean won a major. How do you compare a major to Nina Davis's accomplishments as a great collegiate player? And I'm not sure if she's played in the WNBA or not. But that's why this is fun, the debates that could happen. Jaren Jackson Jr. behind Tony Allen. Okay, that makes sense to some. Some, for others, it doesn't. The chapter, or the book rather, has not been written yet on Jaren Jackson Jr. He's in the middle of his career. I'm going to guess, I have no inside information here, and I could be completely wrong, but their top two is going to be John Morant and D'Angelo Williams. But we were talking about this during one of our breaks. I got to think that Chris Douglas Roberts is on that list high. Derrick Rose, again, 1 year, but what a great year it was for Memphis that he would be high on that list. I know Rachel Heck will be way up there for them. I know that with her accomplishments, her accolades. I'll be curious to see what, Marcus Saul's got to be up there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they've already put Jaren Jackson Jr. on the list and Tony Allen, I would have to think that Conley's not on the list and that Des Bain certainly is not on the list. They're not going to be above those two guys, right?
I would think Conley would be.
But Tony was a defensive player of the year, right?
No.
He wasn't. Was he a first-team all-defense, wasn't he?
I don't know.
First team.
Well, what was Mike?
I really don't understand why Tony Allen's ahead of Jaren Jackson Jr., but...
Well, that's why I just said that's,
But I would, to me, Mike Conley certainly should be ahead of Tony Allen.
Well, Mike Conley is one of the top 25 Memphis athletes on my list over the start of the century, so since 2000. But I'm trying to think, the way their list is going, would Conley be ahead? Jaren Jackson Jr. was the defensive player of the year. Tony wasn't, but he was first team all defense. Mike Conley was never first team anything, right? Just first team in our hearts. So if you're going,
he was a better player.
Yeah, he'll probably be on there, but I've rattled off 7-8 guys right off the bat, right? There's no question. D'Angelo Williams, John Morant, Marcus Saul, Rachel Heck. Who else would be on that list? Chris Douglas Roberts. I'm thinking Derrick Rose. Is Pau Gasol on the list? I don't know if they put Pau Gasol because a lot of his accomplishments happened as a Laker, but he was Rookie of the Year with the Grizzlies. Then you're comparing
the franchise first playoff appearance.
Yep. And then you're comparing individuals, some that have the team accomplishments and some that play in an individual sport. I would bet they're going to have another. I'm trying to think of another great female athlete in this century. There's no question Rachel Heck will be there on their list. Would somebody like an Ashley Shields or somebody be on the list?
Yeah. I was going to make a case for Matt Cain. the pitcher for the Giants.
Matt Cain's a good one.
Jeff in his article talking about this mentioned Matt Cain as it just basically as a guy who fits one of the categories. I think certainly there's a good chance he's on the list.
3 World Series championships and an integral part of all of them. I think he'd have to.
Yeah, I mean he pitched a perfect game. Like he's accomplished a lot. I would guess for sure he's up there.
Now we've debated things before. Matt, I don't think was born in Memphis. Prepped in Memphis though, and starred outside of Memphis. But do they have right there their criteria?
It's either people from Memphis that did stuff elsewhere, or you're from elsewhere but did your stuff here.
Okay, so it's a broad area, broad spectrum of athletes. Any other Tigers, basketball Tigers, other than what I think would be CDR and Derrick Rose? Anybody recent? Does somebody like Jalen Duren or DeAndre Williams or Kendrick Davis? I don't think so, right?
Not that I know of. Not the top of my head, at least.
How about they got Anthony Miller on their list. Paxton Lynch? No? First round pick of the Denver Broncos?
Not a top 25.
No.
I put Riley over Paxton in my
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. over like a Paxton Lynch?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Stenhouse won like a couple of races.
He's won a couple of races.
He's won a Daytona 500.
Yeah, and that's the big one.
No, I'm not saying he shouldn't be on that list. I'm just saying, I'm just throwing it out there, playing devil's advocate. Paxton Lynch earned himself a first-round selection. Now, he poo-pooed in the NFL. Maybe that's held against him. I'm not sure.
If you do top 50, he might get in top 50.
Okay, what about the running backs? What about Tony Pollard? What about Gibson and Henderson? And
can we just lump like all 4 of those guys together? Just be like, that's
Kenny Gainwell. All the running backs in
Memphis
the one.
running back position. That's one of the top 25 athletes.
I like that.
Just lump all of those guys together because it's like if you give everyone their own spot, then you take it away like a lot of good athletes. But then at the same time, they deserve those spots if they're in the top 15 or not.
Right. I mean, it's fun to think about it. And
I don't think any of those running backs are the top 15.
Who do you think?
I can make a case for Tony because he did break the school's kickoff return record, touchdown record. I will say that.
If there is one, it would be him, I think.
All right, so
because he's had the best NFL career.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. We don't have a lot of time, but real quick, let's see. We all agree, Ja, right? D'Angelo.
Yeah.
Right? CDR.
Yeah.
Rose?
Yes.
Yes. That's 4. Heck is going to be on there.
Yeah,
I guarantee she's on there, right? And she deserves. That's 5. Are we saying Conley?
Conley, Gasol, Zebo.
Conley, Marc Gasol, Zebo. Right there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 8 right there. You only have 7 more
loaded
spots.
up the rest with the Memphis running backs, and that's their top 15.
It'll be interesting to see. Well, maybe we can explore more on this and get your thoughts out there, folks. At about 9:30. When we come back, though, we're going to be talking some Ole Miss football. They open up camp tomorrow. The Rebels get things kicked off in what could be a very special season for them.
Friday, we could ask John Varlas who he voted for.
If he wants to divulge that list. John's a very private guy. I don't know. No, I think he'll tell us.
He might go for what's the running back after D'Angelo? I forgot his name. Was it Joe Doss?
Joe Doss. My boy Joe Doss.
Joe's a great guy.
Love Joe Doss.
He's a great guy. I think I'll start thinking about also some of those, I don't want to say offbeat, putting them down, demeaning these other sports, but some of the ones that are not in the limelight, if there's anybody that stood out over the last quarter century. All right, it's a cool list to debate. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Simple, smooth, and every sip is easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does your favorite mixers. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand-bottled, taste-tested, sent out to a few friends, then taste-tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff, just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, mainly 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises. Just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it. Because you're not just taking the bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets, vegan and gluten-free options available, convenience, and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com. So whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Highland Branch. Jason's Deli is wholesome food and no surprises.
Are you ready to ride? Well, we got it covered at Gossett Kia on the bike. Get 41 MPG Highway and 2024 Kia Forte LXS. $199 a month, $37.99 do it sign it. 2024 Kia Sportage, $279 a month, $34.99 do it sign it. Or how about a 2024 Kia EV9 Lite with 0% APR available for 48 months? Or get 304 EPA estimated range for $389 a month, $49.99 do it signing. All 24-month lease. Plus Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Call Bobby J. He's ready to put you in your new Kia today. Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
650 acquisition fee, $20,000 per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte RE 794,066, MSRP 21,820. Sportage R73 16197, MSRP 28,865. EV9 R60 29,603, MSRP 61,035. Includes all rebates and incentives and PF 695. Includes tax, title, license, registration, and fees. Must finance through Hyundai with approved credit valid through 7/31/24. Dealer stock only.
Summertime's finally here, and that means it's time to party. Lucky for you, Family Leisure is having a summertime to party sale. Now, what's all included in this party sale? Practically everything. 24-foot above ground pools for as little as $19.99. All ladders, filter systems, and even robotic cleaners are 20% off. Come in and look at all of the in-stock patio furniture Family Leisure has. Plus, it's up to 50% off. Play gyms for the kids, that's $1,000 off. Patio umbrellas, take 20% off. You can get a 4-person hot tub for just under $3,000. We know you're really going to just use it for yourself. Family Leisure has discounted pricing on all in-stock pool toys and floats while the supplies last, so you better get in quick. Plus, Family Leisure has special financing available. Just ask an associate for all the details. Summertime means party time, and Family Leisure is ready for any party. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun all come together.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights, open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
This Sports 56 traffic report is brought to you by Luttrell Belting. They keep you moving.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. A couple of EMS calls out here in the last few minutes. Still a bit busy trying to get up through the Midtown area. Hadn't been too bad, though, as far as accidents. We do see some of that traffic there on 240 at Norris all the way up to Lamar. It's still positive right now. 55 northbound, working your way up from the south there out of DeSoto County in through South Haven. Hey, Havenly Showers, your curbless shower specialist. Transform your bathroom with a tub to curbless shower conversions. Log on to havenlyshowers.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 9:04 the time. 80 degrees. It's heating up. 95 we're looking at now as a high today with suns and clouds mixed. Tonight, clear skies, 79 degrees. And then for your Tuesday, hot and sunny, 96 degrees is the high temperature projected for tomorrow. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd with you from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. We're going to talk some Ole Miss football with David Johnson in just a moment. Then we'll get back to that DM list a little bit later on.
Yeah, more like I think Pollard probably will be top 15. I forgot he was Special Teams Player of the Year 2 straight years. That's pretty good.
There's also,
and he was an All-American.
There's also, do they put somebody like Joe Salisbury on there, who played tennis at the University of Memphis and has won, 3 or 4 majors now? Now doubles as opposed to singles, but he's right there again in the Olympics. I mean, he's representing the University of Memphis well.
Somebody brought up Michael Orr.
And Albert Pujols played here just a minimal amount of games but made an impact right away. I don't think he'll make their list, but we'll get back to that in a little bit. As I said, David Johnson will join us next.
I was going to throw out a quick name for a second. Nakobe Dean, even though he played at Georgia, was in the Memphis area at Horn Lake?
No, they probably don't stretch it into Mississippi, I'm thinking, but I still don't know. Although that's a good name and a great athlete, friend of the show, Nakobe Dean, I don't think they would have him on the list, but
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is from Olive Branch.
Well, that's true.
I think they're counting that.
Yeah, but the DM, I mean, I don't know. It's weird because the DM kind of emphasizes Memphis, not into, but I guess they do some parts of the suburban area, the metropolitan area. Jenkins Floors and More, speaking of northern Mississippi, they have their new store open at 2356 Goodman Road in Horn Lake. If you're looking for flooring and carpeting, this is the place for you. They also have stores in Cleveland, Mississippi, where they began their operation 8 years ago, and in Little Rock, Arkansas. SPC, WPC vinyls, which are scratch resistant, waterproof, top of the line. They have ceramic and porcelain tiles, hardwoods by Portercraft, carpeting from Southern Luxury Carpet, on and on and on. They sell it wholesale. Skip the middleman, going to save you lots of money. Residential and commercial. So homeowners and contractors out there, do yourself a favor. See what Jenkins Floors and More has to offer. They will install and do so with an unheard of 2-week turnaround. So if you want a free estimate, just call them. They'll come to you. And if you go with Jenkins, again, a 2-week turnaround to get the job done. Financing is available. Stop by and see them in Horn Lake or at any of their 3 establishments, or give them a call at 662-469-9350. That's 662-469-9350. Third hour sponsor, Jenkins Floors and More. It's here, ladies and gentlemen. College football camps opening up this week. Ole Miss will open up tomorrow. Very pleased to be joined by our good friend David Johnson. He covers Ole Miss sports for 24/7 Sports. You can follow him on Twitter at Rebels247. He joins us now on Sports 56 Mornings. You ready, David?
Hey, guys. Hey, for the record, Kobe Dean he played at Horn Lake, by the way.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. No, that's why I said Mississippi. I meant northern Mississippi high schools. I'm not sure if the Daily Memphian's putting together a list of the top 25 best athletes that have either been from Memphis or have come somewhere else to Memphis and performed in this century. And we're wondering, how where they go. Will they go into northern Mississippi? How far will they stretch it? So Zach brought up Nakobe Dean, who had a fantastic collegiate career. Obviously, Georgia was great, now is in the NFL, but there are so many great choices. So anyway, we'll move on and we'll talk about Ole Miss football. Are you excited? It's finally here, the anticipation. The off-season for conversations involving Ole Miss, very plentiful. People think that they could be a real player in this 12-team playoff. Are you excited about it?
Oh, 100%. I mean, I'm 53 years old, guys, and this is the most legitimate excitement around an Ole Miss football team in my lifetime. I've always heard the old heads talk about, the late 50s and early 60s when Ole Miss was claiming national championships and things like that. But, my eyes have never seen anything like that. And when, on the clinical side of everything, if you look at this roster, it is hard to find a deficiency. And something else I think that's kind of escaping people right now is this NCAA ruling that allows analysts to coach. And, when you look on the defensive side of the staff, and we all know offensively, Lane Kiffin and crew, they've got it going on. On the defensive side of the staff, not only do you have Pete Golding, former Alabama defensive coordinator, but you've got Brian Brown, who is a noted defensive coordinator at Louisville and Cincinnati, and then Zach Arnett, hired as an analyst, who had some pretty darn good defenses down at Mississippi State. The smarts on the defensive side of the football have just, kind of tripled, if you will, at Ole Miss, and they've got the tools to be a legitimate SEC defense this year, up front, in the middle, and on the back end.
You mentioned hard to find deficiencies. Going into camp, are there any position battles, question marks that really need to be answered?
Oh, yeah, I think there are position battles everywhere, but it's because of the talent that Lane Kiffin brought in over the offseason. When you look at this offensive line, I'll be honest with you guys, there are 10 guys that I think are in the mix to start. 4 returning starters, but, he went out and got 2 guys off Washington's Joe Moore award-winning offensive line. They're here. He went and got Diego Pounds, the big starting tackle from North Carolina. He's here. Jerquan Scott, the starting center at Southern Mississippi. And, I know Ole Miss offensive line play. My son was the starting center at Ole Miss, and they've never been this deep with quality depth up front. And it goes back to that Georgia game last year where Georgia beat them so bad. They literally took that game film and decided we have holes here, here, and here, and they went out and, at least on paper, fixed them. So, I really don't see a deficiency. Everybody was like, Quinshon Judkins left to go to Ohio State. Who are they going to hand the ball to? Ulysses Bentley is here. The Amos kid that they got from Miami of Ohio is here. I don't really see a deficiency, and I think you've got one of the best quarterbacks in the country with one of the best wide receiving groups that I believe is only going to get better in the next week or so when Deion Smith, the number 1 JUCO receiver in the 24 class, shows up in Oxford.
Yeah, I'm with you. Offensively, they're going to score a lot of points. That offensive line, now revamped, is going to do a good job in protecting Jackson. I think he's going to put up some huge numbers. I do want to go back to, though, the loss of Judkins. You kind of poo-pooed it a little bit, David. I know they'll have guys waiting in the wings. Bentley, I remember him. Didn't he start at SMU, Eli, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so I know all about him. But Judkins is a pretty darn good running back, has a chance to be an All-American running back at Ohio State. That's a big loss.
No, listen, I'm not saying it's not a big loss. You can look at his numbers and say that. I'm saying they've got the men that will step up and fill that void.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. That is not going to be a detriment to Ole Miss this year. Number one, because whoever's running the ball is going to be running behind a much better offensive line. And, number two, the passing game is only going to be that much more of a threat, so defenses have to worry about that. And then, the Amos kid is 235 pounds. Judkins was not. And running behind that line, I think he's going to be a great short yardage back. And Bentley, honestly, with his skill set, is probably more tooled to do in line what Lane wants from his tailback anyway. He's fast. And look, we haven't even talked about Henry Parrish, who transferred back to Oxford from Miami.
Mm-hmm.
And, so I really don't think you're going to see any drop-off in the run game. Good luck to Quinshon. He gave us a great 2 years, but I just don't think it's a detriment to this team.
Fair
and, guys, I think that's why you see Ole Miss in everybody's top 10 preseason.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and again, I mean, the passing game has a chance to be so prolific. Really, I mean, with the group of receivers, the tight end, and Jackson Dart, I mean, they may not ever need to run the football. They have a chance to be one of the best passing attacks in America.
Yeah, and you say the tight end. Of course, Caden Priestcorn is back, Peach Bowl offensive MVP. But they went out and got Daquan Wright from Virginia Tech, who was a big playmaker for the Hokies. He's on this roster, too. So they've got two tight ends that I think have NFL capabilities, and Lord knows 7, 8, 9 wide receivers that are going to get paid to play on Sundays one day.
Well, like I said, they're scoring points. The question is the defense. You started out this segment talking about the improvement defensively, the coaches that are now brought in, the minds that are helping instruct these young men. And then you start off right away and you look at that defensive line. You got a guy like Walter Nolan right there in the middle, a guy who could easily be and probably will be a first-round pick in the NFL draft. That puts you out to a pretty good start to have a good defensive season, because all it's going to take is an above defensive season, I think, for Ole Miss to do what they want to do because their offense is so prolific.
Oh, look, and you know, you mentioned Walter Nolan, but let's talk a little bit about Princely Umamila, the edge that transferred in from Florida, and then Chris Hardy, you know, Conference USA defensive lineman of the year last year at Jacksonville State. You know, they're deep up front. They got Pooh Paul, the linebacker from Arkansas, that was the Razorbacks' leading tackler last year. He's there. Terrian Perkins, year 2, I think is going to blow sky high. And then they've got a quality back end. You know, so I just think, you know, if ever there was a time for Ole Miss to make the college football playoffs and be a contender, it's now. I mean, and let's be honest, the Grove Collective, Lane Kiffin, ever how you want to deem it, they went all in with the money in the transfer portal, and they had the nation's #1 haul according to 24/7 Sports, and you know, as Lane will tell you, this conversation is rat poison, right? It all looks good on paper, but you got to put it all together.
Sure.
And you know, we're a little over a month away from kickoff. I mean, somebody's going to blow that opening whistle, and you know, Caden Davis is going to kick it into the end zone, and we're underway. And you know, we talk about the excitement around the team, but the excitement in Oxford is palpable. I mean, it is true. Guys, I mean, I can only imagine what the small, beautiful, quaint little town of Oxford would be like if, say, Ole Miss is hosting Ohio State in a first-round playoff game. My goodness.
It wouldn't be quaint anymore.
No, man. I mean, I'm telling you, it would be like Saturday night after an LSU game for the 4 days leading up to the game.
Yeah.
I assume it's fair to say that if they do not start 6-0, it is a major disappointment.
Yes, absolutely. I agree with that 100%. And look, I got to tell you, if they aren't unbeaten when Georgia comes to town, it's going to be a major disappointment. You know, they are in 6 games. You know, you got 2 SEC games in there, South Carolina and Kentucky. They'll be favored in both of those games. All 4 of the non-conference games they should win. So then they go to LSU. And again, on paper, I think Ole Miss has the better roster than LSU this year. Not many years you can ever say that, but this year I do believe they do.
Well, I think you're right, certainly on paper. The one thing is it's at LSU, and LSU's coming off a bye week. It'll be a challenge, but I look at that schedule, there's no Alabama. I mean, that's a big void right there in the schedule. Oklahoma, I don't think people expect too much in the first year in the SEC for the Sooners. But there's that Georgia game on November 9th, which is a home game. It's going to be off the charts in Oxford for that one, especially if they're still undefeated.
Oh, man, if you have 2 undefeated teams playing in that game, just watch out. I mean, I'm telling you, I already don't really try to leave the house unless I'm going to the game after Thursday on a game week in Oxford. We're going to stock up like I don't know, like a flood is coming on groceries and everything. A couple of weeks before that Georgia game, but we don't want to put the cart before the horse, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
But it's an odd time because Ole Miss fans, they're kind of a funny breed. They're being very careful too, I've got family that are big time Ole Miss fans, and they're always asking me, and then they're quick to tell me, "Man, you don't need to be talking that stuff. Don't jinx us. Don't jinx us." So and I explained to them, there's nothing you can do that's going to affect the outcome of Saturday's game. So enjoy it. Just have a fun time with it. I mean, it's what you've been waiting on, right?
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, as you said, this is, if you're going to do it, this is the year. I mean, the schedule works out that you avoid Alabama and Texas, so you only play one of the other of the top four, that being Georgia, and you play them at home. I mean, this is, if they're ever going to get, the whole, they've never been to the SEC championship game, all of these things, like, it is there in front of them, it seems like, this year.
Yeah, it is. It honestly is. And, you just got to say kudos to Lane Kiffin and what he's been able to do. He is the right man at the right place at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
He is definitely cutting edge when it comes to the transfer portal, even how they handle their NIL funding through the Grove Collective. They're at the top of the class, and it's showing. It is showing, and I get guys that get frustrated on my message board about high school recruiting. And look, it matters still, but it sure as heck doesn't matter as much as it used to.
Not even close.
It's about the transfer portal at the University of Mississippi. And, don't get upset when these high school kids, decommit in July. And, it's not like it was 5 years ago.
David, what would be a disappointing season?
Man, that's a great question. Because honestly, at this point, I mean, 10-2 and not making the playoffs is disappointing. You've got to get to the college football playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
They've come a long way, haven't they?
They have
10-2, disappointing. But I think you're right.
Yeah, I think 10-2 and not making the playoffs and going to a Florida bowl game in the past would have been celebrated and venerated around here. Doesn't get it done this year.
Yeah,
it's just the truth.
Yeah, it feels like really it's just playoff or bust. Basically, because I think everybody believes they're one of the top four teams in the SEC. I think most people believe at least four teams of the SEC will get in, so they should be in the playoff.
Yeah. Unless the Big 12, who was it? It was Rule at Nebraska, who claimed the Big 10 should get four teams in, like NFL light. I don't know what he thinks the SEC is, but I guess that's a topic for another conversation.
Yeah, don't go Feinbaum on us, David. I had enough of Feinbaum. He's David Johnson. He covers the Ole Miss Rebels, all the sports for 247 Sports. You can follow him on Twitter at Rebels247. Enjoy camp. I'm sure we'll be talking to you soon, David. Always appreciate your time.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you now. All-Star Chevrolet, folks. It's a quick trip to Olive Branch and All-Star Chevrolet to check out all their great vehicles. They have hundreds of new and pre-owned Silverados. Some mark 12% off invoice. You add up the All-Star special discounts, even Costco member deals, and you're going to save a lot of money. It's one sweet buyer's market right now with financing as low as 1.9%. No payments for 90 days on a bunch of new All-Star Chevys, including those beautiful Tahoes, and they got a bunch of the Silverados. I mean, some mark 12% off invoice. And if you're looking for pre-owned Jeeps, Runners, the 4Runners, Expeditions, Navigators, all the trucks, they have them all there in Olive Branch, Mississippi. You can test drive them all today. Bring any vehicle you want to sell, and get a big check. Don't miss out on All-Star Chevy's special summer sale. It's going on right now in Olive Branch. You can also check them out online at allstarautogroup.com. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Take your basketball shooting and passing skills to new levels at Shoot 360 Memphis. Shoot 360 is a revolutionary basketball training facility that combines cutting-edge science and technology and provides instant objective feedback with actual hands-on, one-on-one expert coaching that will help make you the best basketball player on any court. You've heard about Shoot 360 in Collierville. Well, coming this July, Shoot 360 will have another bigger location in Cordova. Shoot 360 in Collierville and soon in Cordova will transition from 3 and 6 month memberships to a monthly membership model. And yes, you can become a member at both locations. Whether you're an aspiring young talent or NBA player, all skill levels use the Shoot 360 basketball program to learn proper shooting techniques, improve their fundamentals, and gain a competitive edge. Shoot 360 Memphis. Call them today at 901-316-5500. That's 316-5500. Or visit them at 85 Market Center Drive in Collierville. And coming in July to Cordova. The future of basketball training is here. Shoot 360 Memphis.
It's the season for fun, sun, and savings at the Volkswagen Savvy Summer Sales Event. Going on now at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike, and I've got Jason, the main man Marshall, on the phone to give you the lowdown.
Randy, I've got the 2024 Taos SE, $299 a month, 36 miles per gallon on the highway. 2024 Atlas Peak Editions, $5,000 off or just 0.9% APR for 60 months. And the new 2024 Tiguan, $3,000 off or just 1.9% APR for 60 months. And the list of savings goes on and on at Gossett Volkswagen on Covenant Pike. And remember, no reasonable offer will be refused.
Summer fun has begun. Ask for Jason, the main man Marshall at Gossett Volkswagen, 1875 Covington Pike, or online at GossettDWMemphis.com.
Where we're charging for it and charging less every day.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Starting trouble. No one likes that. We can get you set up for some stronger starts. You might just need a fresh charge, and we can take care of that free of charge. But if it is time for a new battery, we've got replacement batteries that'll fit your needs, starting at just $79.99. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Everyone loves home improvement. South Haven Supply and Warehouse 51 makes it easy. A real hardware store run by 3 generations of a real hardware family where you can get it all. Whether it's repairs, remodeling, or new building, kitchens, bathrooms, tiles, tubs, vanities, sinks, mirrors, lighting, furniture, even door hardware. All the latest designs as well as timeless classics. And if outdoor fun is on your mind, they have the big green egg and accessories. South Haven Supply and Warehouse 51, 8560 Highway 51. Easy home improvement.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss Sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station.
Welcome back, everybody. 9:29 the time. Don't forget, tomorrow, Mickey Barker and our weekly golf segment, we're giving away golfer 4 to play on the opening day of Audubon, which is August 1st. So that's coming up on Thursday. And we'll be giving away a foursome tomorrow. I don't know how we'll do it, but we'll do it during Mickey's segment, so stay tuned for that. There has been another trade in Major League Baseball. Bob Nightingale reporting that the Royals have acquired Texas Rangers starter Michael Lorenzen for left-handed pitcher Walter Pennington. How about the Royals? Just continue to keep on keeping on.
Well, they lost 2 out of 3 to the Cubs, so that's not keeping on.
They're still right there.
If you're losing 2 out of 3 to the Cubs, you're bad.
No, the Cubs are okay. Come on. Cubs are okay. Cubs still have a chance. It's a long shot, but they still have a chance. There's still plenty of time, lots of things that could happen. So we were talking earlier about the Daily Memphian story about their top 25 Memphis athletes this century. And they've revealed the top or the first 10, so 25 through 16. So in the coming days, I guess they'll reveal the other 15. And so we were looking at who we think absolutely would be on that list. And we said Ja, D'Angelo, CDR, Rose, Rachel Heck, Conley, Gasol, Zebo. That's 8. I can almost guarantee you. Zach, we were talking about females, right? Nina Davis on the list. Rachel will be on the list.
Yeah.
Madison Griggs.
Oh, yeah.
Right? They'll put her on that list, right? And again,
Has to be.
She's the all-time leading three-point shooter at Memphis.
Yes.
So she'll be on that. I'm pretty sure she'll be on that list. Would you include her, Eli? Do you think that?
Top 15, I don't know.
I mean, just, I know how they think, some of those guys over there. I think she'll be on there.
Matt Cain will be on the list.
Matt Cain.
I think Pollard will be on the list. I think Michael Orr's got to be on the list. He was a unanimous All-American in college, had a long NFL career, won a Super Bowl championship.
Got to be.
The All-SEC guy 3 times. He's got to be on the list.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 11 that we agree upon. Now, you may not agree with Maddie Griggs. I think she's going to get on that list. And again, somebody I brought up like Joe Salisbury probably won't make the list, but here's a guy who played tennis at Memphis. I don't know if he was an All-American or not, but he's won, I want to say 3 majors already in doubles, playing in the Olympics. Good chance he could be on that list. So who are the few that we're missing? We're not going with anybody else from Memphis football. So you guys poo-pooed Paxton Lynch. Not going to go with Gibson or Gainwell or Henderson, any of the great running backs. They wouldn't put somebody like Alan Cross on there. But Alan Cross ended up playing, 4 or 5 years in the NFL? Not too shabby. Who else? Don Terry Poe? Wasn't he a first-round pick?
He was.
He was first-team all-conference, wasn't he?
I don't think so.
Not that I know
I
of.
can't remember. I don't think he's on the list.
No, he was the guy, though, we go, all right, he's a big dude in the middle of a defensive line that doesn't move that well, and then all of a sudden he was a first-round pick. I don't think any of us expected that. It's like, what? Whoa. First-round pick. Let's see. Thinking about some sports outside the box. We agreed on Rachel Heck from golf.
A texter brought up Isaac Bruce, but Isaac Bruce, while his career went into the 2000s, his time at Memphis was before 2000, and most of his career, a big part of his career, was before 2000.
Yeah, so I would assume from a time standpoint, they're not including him.
Now, I know the University of Memphis women's soccer had several good years.
Yeah, and they got that one player who like every year she's incredible, but I don't think she would make the list. Because you're going to say she's ahead of Jaren Jackson Jr.? I mean, what? I mean, come on, man. I know you want to be all-inclusive, but let's not be crazy here.
Somebody brought up the current Olympian, Harrison Williams, the decathlete.
I mean, he's competing in the Olympics, for goodness sakes.
I mean, you can't really argue with that like they do. I mean, I don't know. I certainly don't know about his career other than the fact that he's in the Olympics, but I guess I don't know. But I mean, when you're in the Olympics, that's pretty darn good.
Well, what about, Brent Rooker's on the list. Friend of the show, Brent Rooker. Deserves to be. He's having another incredible year this year. What about Austin Riley? Isn't he from here too?
Mm-hmm.
From the area.
Very well could be on the list.
Olive Branch.
I don't think there's any other baseball that I could think of right off the top of my head. Baseball players. Anybody from bocce? Any bocce all-stars, all-American bocce players? No more drivers, I don't think. Soccer from like 901, we didn't have any. We had good players, but nobody I think that would make the list. And the guys from here that went on to play.
Anybody from the AFF that would be on?
From the where? The what?
The AAF.
The Alliance of American Football?
Yeah.
No UFL. None of those
guys?
Johnny Manziel.
Unfortunate.
His one game or two, he got pancaked. I was calling that game. I don't know. What about any more? Okay. How about, we already kind of talked about it a little bit, but you don't see like a Jalen Duran, Precious Achua, somebody like that?
And I don't remember what, I know Calkins brought some of these guys up in his thing. I can't remember exactly what he said. But Joe Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Jackson would be on the list.
I was just about to say Joe Jackson. Joe Jackson, if they put Alo on that list, I'm going to murder one of those guys over there.
Joe Jackson has to be. McDonald's All-American, Conference Player of the Year.
I mean, when you get the King of Memphis tatted on your chest, I think you're already on the list, man. I'm sorry.
I mean, when a guy has a really good career and still seemed like he had a disappointing career, that's Jackson. Like, it was just disappointing how it all, but I think it's more like how it ended.
Yeah.
That he's never able to do anything with that. Yeah, I think Joe has a great chance to be on that list.
Yeah.
Again, we're trying to get inside the heads of all those who voted over there. It's fun. These are fun topics to debate, to throw out there.
I had no idea that Joe Jackson won the D-League Most Improved Player in 2015.
Were you doing the hustle at that point? Was the hustle in existence?
No.
You never saw the exploits of Joe Jackson at the G League level.
His last year was 2017.
That was like a couple of years right before the G League became to existence, ain't it?
Well, the D-League became the G League.
Yeah.
Because Gatorade started sponsoring it.
Tamika Whitmore was before 2000. The great Memphis women's basketball player went on to play in the WNBA, who was unbelievable. She was the female version of Omar Sneed, who, if people remember, was unstoppable once he got the ball down low on the block. Forget about it. It was a bucket. Didn't matter that there were guys bigger than him, taller than him. Tamika was the same thing. Tamika, forget about it. She got the ball, it was a bucket. She was great.
Her playing career, because she played at, Liberty? Yeah, Liberty, then the Sparks, the Fever, and the Sun. So, yeah,
she got to WNBA in 99.
Okay, so she was done. She was already done.
Yeah.
I figured she was before 2000, but I wanted to make sure.
Unless, well, she went to U of M, so.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Like,
You're a Memphis grad.
But her time at Memphis was before 2000, so I don't think it would qualify her. Like,
Yeah.
she didn't do anything in Memphis after 2000, and she's not from Memphis, right?
Yeah,
she's
she's from Mississippi somewhere.
Yeah.
But I think
so. She would be disqualified. She wouldn't be eligible because nothing of her Memphis ties happened after 2000.
Okay,
would be my understanding.
All right. Anybody else come to mind? Hit us up, 360-8255, 360-8255. I'll be curious to see how many of these we get right. Again, we got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 that we all agree with that they'll have on that list. But then there's others that, I mean, it could be very interesting who they put on that list. And it will be debatable. But again, everybody has an opinion. Everybody's entitled to an opinion. It's a fun topic to talk about.
It's it is difficult to compare when we talked about the ESPN list. One, when you start talking about individual sports versus team sports, then you're talking about how much success a team had? Does that matter in judging the player versus what just they did? And then something like this, when you're trying to compare people who were here for just a brief time, like how much time did they have to spend here to you consider? And in their voting, they didn't, like, as I think Jeff said it, they made it kind of very vague in their voting. They didn't tell people how to vote. Like, so you could vote for Albert Pujols if you wanted to vote for Albert Pujols, if you believe just the fact that he was here for a few games qualifies him to be on your list.
Well, I'll tell you how hard it is. Just think about some of the golfers from our area. Sean McKeel's got a major on the PGA Tour. Doug Barron's got a major just this year on the Champions Tour. And Doug's putting together a really good Champions Tour career. But again,
Lauren Roberts has a Champions career and one on the regular tour.
But how much of it was prior to 2000? I mean, it's even within just a couple of the golfers from the area, it's a tough debate. And then you get into forget about it with the Grizzlies and a guy like a Pau Gasol, as opposed to other guys. And then, of course, Tigers basketball. Whew, man, Tigers football. It is quite an interesting task for everybody to come up with the 25, because there will be a debate on just about everybody.
Folks, if you're looking for that special piece of jewelry, one place you need to know, that's Genesis Diamonds. Go over and see the folks at Genesis Diamonds. For whatever it is that you're looking for, they're going to blow you away with the selection. First of all, you walk in the door, you're just going to see case after case after case of jewelry, great jewelry, every price range that you can imagine. They've got something for you. They got great people to help you find that perfect piece of jewelry as well. Not working on commission, so not there to try and pressure you into buying something too expensive. They're just there to help you find that perfect piece of jewelry and educate you on what you should be looking for when you're buying that jewelry and what affects pricing and those types of things. They'll do a great job of educating you to make you a smarter shopper when it comes to buying jewelry. Pricing is absolutely out of this world as well. Direct importer pricing, taking out the middleman, so you're going to get a great deal, a great value as well. Whether you're looking for a natural diamond or a lab-grown diamond, any shape, any size, they've got you taken care of at Genesis Diamonds. Pre-owned Rolex watches, biggest selection in the state. That's at Genesis Diamonds. You can find them at Poplar and Perkins Extended. Don't buy anywhere else. At least go check it out and just go through that Genesis experience. They are Genesis Diamonds.
Do you agree or disagree with me that Ja, D'Angelo, in one order or another, will be the top two?
I agree.
D'Angelo will be. I'm not sure Ja will be top two yet.
All right. We'll take a break, come back with our final segment.
I think Marc Gasol could be ahead of Ja.
That'd be interesting. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
We are Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Looking for sports in all the wrong places? Try the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square. Fun, friendly, exciting, and comfortable with wall-to-wall TVs for all your favorite games, 24 taps for all your favorite beers, including NA and local craft beers, and an in-front-of-the-wall full bar for all your other favorite beverages, including a full wine list. And in an upscale menu, patio seating, daily specials, and events, and you found all your sports in the one right place. The Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square, Highway 70.
To understand what makes Genesis Diamonds so different than other jewelry stores, you have to go back over 40 years to the diamond cutting capital of Tel Aviv, Israel. That's where Genesis owner Boaz Ramon grew up, in the center of the diamond universe. His connections with the best diamond cutters allowed him special access, giving rise to a thriving wholesale business here in the United States. Then, after a few years, this wholesaler changed the game and started selling these precious diamonds direct to the public at the same prices he had sold to the jewelry stores. the no middleman concept became an instant success. Today, Genesis Diamonds provides that extraordinary value to people right here in Middle Tennessee, leading the industry with the highest quality diamonds that still come straight from the best cutters, offered at the guaranteed best price of any jewelry store in America. Genesis Diamonds, a truly revolutionary concept with a unique history rooted in quality, committed to excellence, and always focused on value. Genesis Diamonds, luxury premium Rolexes, and popular Perkins Extended.
Listen up, I got Marty McNate on the line at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown. Hey McNate, how far back you moving on prices?
Way back, Randy. Doc told me you can take your pick. 2024 Teos SE or 2024 Jetta Sport. Gotta go back in time to the good old days at $275 a month.
Great Scott, McNate. Gossett Volkswagen on Germantown is really moving prices back.
That's right, Randy.
And I hear you got the 2024 Atlas Peak Editions going for $5,000 off MSRP, or you can get 1.9 for 60 months.
That's right, Randy. Your future's whatever you make of it, so let's get to Gossett Volkswagen Germantown.
Ask for Marty to find out how much he can move you back on price. Hey, Marty, hit us with that Gossett Volkswagen locator.
7420 Winchester Road, or shop online at GossettVWG.com.
This is it. Shop the Lowe's Closeout event to get up to 70% off select major appliances for your home. Plus, get up to 60% off select patio furniture and accessories for your outdoor spaces. So hurry into your local store today because these deals are too good to last. Shop them now before they're gone because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 8/7. While supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Moving is stressful, but Black Tie Moving can take the worry out of the process. Whether you're moving across town or across country, moving your home or your office, your personal moving concierge from Black Tie Moving will work with you to design a plan that perfectly fits your budget and needs. And they're available 24/7 to answer any questions you have. Give Black Tie Moving a call at 901-316-6196 or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis to get your personal, no obligation quote from the moving experts at Black Tie Moving.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Let me slightly correct what I said before the break. Not only Marc Gasol could be in front of Ja Morant, Marc Gasol absolutely should be ahead of Ja Morant. Really wouldn't even be a question right now.
Are they simply going
Marc Gasol has more All-Star appearances.
Right.
He was a first-team All-NBA guy, which Ja never has been. Ja's been second team. Marc also had a second team with his first team. Marc was a Defensive Player of the Year. Marc also played high school ball here, was Mr. Basketball, has 2 Olympic silver medals, and was on the Grizzlies team that went the furthest they've ever gone.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even close. Right? Quite frankly, you can make a great case Marc Gasol should be number 1.
Are they simply going on just absolute accomplishments on their resume, or are they also looking at fan impact, excitement, not only what they have accomplished in their sport, but how they play the sport, what they've done on and off the court, which would certainly hurt Ja. I mean, what else is taken into consideration? If it's up to you, it's your criteria. There may be some people that look at it and say, well, Ja, the excitement that he brought to the game, he changed the fortunes of the franchise, although Marc Gasol was part of some pretty good teams here. I think you make a good point about Marc Gasol. Absolutely make a good point.
And he's got an NBA championship. He's got an NBA title, too. He's like, I think, in 10 years, Ja very well would be. But right now, I don't think you could vote Ja over Marc Gasol.
But if you're counting all the accolades from the entire resume, Pau Gasol has 2 NBA titles. Pau Gasol has those medals as well, playing for Spain. May even have more than Marc because I think he played for at least one without Marc. You can also throw him in.
Pau didn't do as much of the stuff here that Marc did.
He was the Rookie of the Year, though. He was really good. They got their first 50-win season.
Marc was the Defensive Player of the Year and first-team All-NBA.
I know.
Well, the 5 best players in the NBA. Marc was on that when he was here.
Pau was the first All-Star, right, from the Grizzlies. I mean, Powell not in the top 25 and Mark number 1. That's weird, in my opinion. If you got Mark number 1 or number 2, I mean, Powell not in the top 25?
And Powell very well could be. I mean,
he should be. But Powell does not get the accolades I think he deserves. I mean, I hope he has his number retired. Hopefully one day the Grizzlies will come to their senses, I think. This is interesting. They put together a comprehensive medals count for players from a specific conference. So athletes who went to that particular school, happen to be maybe in the SEC or the Big Ten or the ACC, through 2 days of competition, the ACC has produced 13 medals, 5 gold, 6 silver, 2 bronze. The Big Ten second, tied with the SEC with 3. The SEC has a gold, a silver, and a bronze. It's amazing how many athletes are from other countries that go to school in the United States, that perform for UCLA, LSU, Oregon, whatever the case may be. Then, of course, they go on. Certainly, they're going to do that. They go back to their respective countries and they perform for their countries in the Olympics.
Well, yeah, they would. Last night they went through all kinds of gymnastics. There's a ton of girls who
Philippines
play,
yes.
Are doing gymnastics here, but. I mean, quite frankly, just aren't good enough to make our gymnastics team. So they go represent their country because, like, our gymnastics team is so damn good, it's impossible to make.
Well, it's not like Gabrielle Rose, who tried to make it for, I think, Team USA, was at one point an Olympian for Brazil because her mother is Brazilian, so she represented that country. It happens. And we talk about Joel Embiid. He's representing the United States. Of course, now he's a citizen of the United States, go along with being a citizen of France and, Cameroon, if I'm not mistaken. That's what he's elected to do. By the way, former NBA player Chase Budinger and his partner Miles Evans, they take down France in straight sets. Big volleyball win in front of the Eiffel Tower and a partisan Parisian crowd.
Shout out to the dual athletes, man.
Absolutely.
One of the last night, the girl in gymnastics who had the torn ACL, who just wanted to just say she competed.
Yes.
Dude, that was man, oh man, that is something. Literally couldn't dismount. Was just at the end of her routine, just dropped off the bars. She actually fell off earlier, but she's out there with a torn ACL, leg all wrapped up, but just wanted to get out there to say she actually competed in the Olympics. Stuff like that is just so cool.
And you get those stories often with the Olympics and the Olympic athletes. I thought that was fantastic. Now, my question is, was it the Philippines? Who was she competing for? She was the only...
I can't remember where she was from. They did...
she was the only gymnast, though. They didn't have a team. It was just one individual. How did she make the team? And how... She's injured.
Qualified before she tore her ACL, I would imagine.
But they had no other person that qualified for their team? For the team? I didn't understand.
She qualified in that event, I think, at the World Championships or whatever.
So the team didn't qualify. Yeah. She qualified in an individual event, got hurt. They kept her on the team and then allow her to do that. Yeah, it's a great moment. It was a great moment.
Or she got to be the coldest one-legged gymnast that we ever seen, man.
I mean, it was just first of all,
Carrie Strug would argue that.
When she fell off first time, I thought she would just, she might just quit. But then she got back up there, finished her team. And then at the end of it, just dropped down because she can't do a dismount with, she can't land on that. It's just, that's that stuff, man. Just because again, the work you've had to put in, if you had that taken away because of the injury would be it would just suck so bad. So great for her. She got out there and she can now say she competed in the Olympics.
Absolutely. Alan is dialed in on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines. Alan, what's happening?
Yeah, guys, there's 32 former ones that are in school now, Tennessee Vols in the Olympics.
32 Olympians from the University of Tennessee?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Wow. What
sport
has the most?
Countries.
What sport has the most?
I don't know. There's five more schools ahead of us, and I'm sure it's probably Stanford, Texas, Florida.
Right.
Is what I think. And the final count on the total attendance came in, and we sold 1.5 million tickets.
For
everything.
For everything last year.
Yes, everything last year, and it was number one in the nation.
Damn, $1.5 million. That's incredible. Thank you, Alan. Appreciate the phone call. So with Joe Salisbury in the Olympics, he's the only University of Memphis athlete or former athletes in the Olympics, correct? And we have two Memphians born in Memphis that are Olympians. That's what John told us on Friday, John Varlas, Williams being one of them, who could very well be on this list from the Daily Memphian.
Yeah. And if you're, who is the other one?
I forget. And Sam Kendricks, from friend of the show, who started Ole Miss, the pole vaulter, where is he from? Is he from Oxford? He may even be from Oxford. But again, they're not stretching it all the way down to Oxford. Apparently, they're taking into consideration DeSoto County, which goes back to what you had brought up about N'Kobe Dean.
Fleet Feet is the place to go to get all the running gear. You want to get shoes that are just right for you? Well, go see the folks at Fleet Feet. They can do that for you at either one of their two locations. In East Memphis, it's a Laurelwood Shopping Center. Out in Collierville, Poplar and Houston Levy, next door to Huey's. You can go in to see them at either place. They'll take a look at the way you run, the way you walk, where you put the pressure on the different parts of your feet, and then they'll get you fitted with shoes that are just right for you, plus anything else that you need. Gear-wise, they certainly can take care of that. Heck, advice, they can give you that as well. If you're just getting started, you're trying to train for a race, any of those things, talk to the folks at Fleet Feet. They're all runners, and they'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have when you go see them. Plus, you can get involved with their group runs and other things that they do. Keep up to date with what they've got going on their website, fleetfeetmemphis.com. They're also on social media, keeping up to date with things they've got going on. Again, two locations to serve you of Fleet Feet.
Go ahead.
Seth Ryder with a triathlon. He's from Memphis.
He's triathlete?
Yeah.
Wow, okay. Did you say that Calkins said that Tony Pollard would be on the list? Or there's a good chance he'd be on the list? My son texts me and goes,
I can't remember what he said about Tony Pollard. I can't remember what he might have said something about him. I can't remember. But just looking at it, like when you look at it, like 2-time special teams player of the year, all conference, all American, Tony Pollard certainly would be on that list.
Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Well, that'll do it for us today. I want to thank David Johnson for joining us. Tomorrow on the program, Connor O'Gara joins us, Mickey Barker, and our golf segment. Remember, we'll be giving away Golfer 4 at Audubon, Humdinger's Trivia, and much, much more, plus a recap of what's happening in Paddy at the Olympic Games. Wallow and Friends on Sports 56 is coming up next. For Eli Savoy and for Zach Boyd, I'm Greg Gaston. Have a great day, everybody.